Let's go. Get some audio here. Alright, today we're going to work on a interesting deck. Going to be focusing on insider information. There's a creator that put out this deck. It's a deck that I've been wanting to work on for a while now. Not sure that we're going to tinker around with this a little bit and see what we like with it, and we'll see how we do. Try to get 10 games in at least and see what our record is in rank. Go ahead and log in on my phone so I can see what might have used up all my alerts. So I'm not sharing this out because a lot of you guys you're not really into Magic the Gathering. So it'll just be my wife. Hit that like button. Alright, we're gonna mulligan. Keep this one. Thank you. Look at the top 20 cards of your library. Put any number of land cards from the I go first, waiting on my opponent, choosing whether or not to keep 7 cards or to mulligan. Sorry about the delay, folks. Here we got the Restless Cottage. Becomes a land for black and green horror creature. This will help us with our annex. So we'll probably be dropping down Restless Cottage, Overgrown Tomb, Soul Sanctuary, turn 3. Putting this bottom of the deck. Can't tell if my opponent's not gonna show up or not. Keep that. Downtown to Goblin Town. Take a look at our opponent's hand. See what they have. Hopefully get rid of something good. We're going to be making grilled cheese on homemade bread and homemade tomato soup. That's going to be our dinner tonight. Actually, kind of jonesing for it here in a couple hours. Have some. We should see if Mom wants to have some before you guys go off. That way you can save some money on not getting food there. Yeah, but you know, see if she wants to. Opponent is a little suspect. Alright, this creature enters or dies, create a treasure token. 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Create a treasure token until the end. We'll get rid of that, I guess. Get rid of the creature. It's a Noggle Robin. Apparently my opponent wants to do a lot of treasure token stuff, so I'm guessing there's a smog in my future. Hey JP, how you doing? No block. We'll just go ahead and gain 3 life on this one, I think. Just spare.
This will take minimal effort. This will only sting for a moment.
All right, guys, we got a new poll. Feel free to answer that poll.
You've earned what comes next. I'll be in my office.
No blocks. What did he do? Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Let's go. Let's try it out. Let's go 3. Okay. I might add Emeritus to this deck. I'd put at least 2 Emerituses in this deck. That's going to be a change I'll be making here. I'm going to play 10. I'm going to do 10 go-arounds. Golden Hybrid. Maybe I'll get rid of Magda. All he had, just a 1? No way. Wow, that was a rip-off. Oh well. Sure I would get something else out of that. Hey, Jay Burks, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hump day. Going pretty well. Every day is like Sunday. And my opponent, I don't know, like my opponent playing like 3 different matches at the same time? Like, what's going on here, buddy? Get a goal going. See if we can't get 10 super chats of all the colors in 3 hours. I think we can do that. Thanks for the support of my humble gaming channel. No pressure. No grifting pressure. As I'm pressuring you. Alright, gotta get my grift on a little bit. Don't forget to hit that like button. Got. Doing great. Got a roast cooking and everything. I come into the house. It smells awesome. Make me hungry. It'll be dinner, and I'll have it 10 hours in the slow cook. How'd the meatloaf? Somebody made meatloaf the other day. How'd that come? Didn't somebody make meatloaf? I swore. Yeah, slow cooker meatloaf. They like put it in the smoker. I'm gonna try that. I bet that'd be amazing. But you gotta do it in a way where it's up out of, you know what I mean? Like you mold it and then put it on top of it so the fat will go down into a dripping pan or something. Nice smoky flavor in it. Nice slow cook. That'd be amazing. And now I'm jonesing for meatloaf. I like meatloaf that has like kind of bigger chunks of like bread in it.
Sit down. I'll handle this.
All right, class.
The right spell turns
Class is
poison
in session.
to medicine.
I know this isn't very exciting. My opponent is playing like I usually play, really slow and distracted. So now I know what it feels like to play against me. I'm trying to be all about business though, so I can make this a little more exciting for you guys. Are you guys enjoying the Diablo 2 streams? We're really gonna be doing Red Dead Redemption soon. I think I'm gonna kick that up, and I really love Red Dead Redemption. It's just it was having issues on Steam. It kept like crashing on me or something on my other computer. So I guess I could try it on this one and see if it works a little bit better. But I love Red Dead Redemption. It's one of my favorite games ever. But I take my time with it, so it's going to be an epic journey. I'm not going to be in a rush. Yeah. Love that game. It's one of my all-time favorites. And of course, it'd be like GTA 6 coming up in the future. But I like to try, do new and different games, try them out, see how they work. Again, I'm sorry about this. My opponent, I don't know what my opponent's doing, but Okay. I think we'll do this. Go ahead and activate it. Hello, reason and evidence. I like that name.
Consider this your expulsion notice.
Nothing to do with me, Jay. Evil shall not prevail. Hello, Morning Mist. Well, the way you spell morning has got me a little nervous there, Jay. Good to see you keeping GS straight. She's not in mourning. Do you see the way you spelled morning mist? Like morning, like you're wearing a black cowl or something like that. COW. What's that? Oh, that's true. Yeah, you are stuck with me after all. That's a good way to look at it. That is funny. How soon till the trolls come in and get hidden? Yada yada yada. Zach Bryan, I remember it. Oh my goodness, this must be what it's like to play against me, Brand. It's just sitting there roofing me. I like this insider information card though. I'm gonna put Emeritus in this deck. I think the Emeritus is the way to go. I don't know why he's got that other sorcery in there, especially without any real good ways. Okay, my turn. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. What are you doing, Ellie girl? So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it'd be 6 technically. Go 6. So we'll look at the top. Well, we can go 7. Top 7 cards. I don't know why the guy, like the side profile of that Zach dude, kind of looks like the fire starter, filthy fire, doesn't he? A little bit, like just what was the name of that? Progeny. Wasn't it Progeny that did Firestarter? You're a Firestarter. 7, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Auto. Go ahead and gain a life. We're at 28. What is this? Okay. Guess we'll do that. So target creature or planeswalker. Siri, go away. Okay, and that's it. Wow, this dude's got like really nothing. He's just got like token creation. That's it. He must have a, what do you call it? The heck's the name of it? Smog. He must have smogs in his deck. Probably has some in his hand. Alright, I'm at 25. He's at 14. I don't really have anything else. Oh, wait. I got 2 creatures here. So I can make a token of that. Sacrifice 3 treasure tokens. And I can make a 4/4 scorpion dragon creature token flying with haste. Activate only as a sorcery. I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry that this is such a boring game for you guys. I know it is. I feel it. Well, that took a long time, but we got the win. Alrighty, JP. Oh, looks like Steve's got a 4 p.m. Eastern, the latest YouTube drama. All right. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Get that. Alright, let's go. Let's keep this. I did something to it right there. It's still not right. Man. Yeah, it's bad. I think I broke my hand. I really do. Yeah. I might need to look at it. I mean, I don't really know what else they could really do. Alright, let me focus. So I'm not taking a long time like my last opponent did to me. Got a puppy. What's that? Oof, that's gonna be a big one. Be a big one. Alright, let's take a look at what our opponent has here. Okay. Get rid of that. Oh, he's got a deck. Okay, so he's got a deck that decks you. Let's see if you can't get that counter spell out of his hand. Not interesting. I definitely got to put Emeritus in here. I don't know why I keep getting. What's up, Steve? Sorry to interrupt your moment of serenity, but bringing some real drama at 4 p.m. Shameless plug. No problem. Yeah, I already announced it. I already announced it. Are you going live? Or is it like a pre-recorded? I might join you for that. If you're actually going to be there live, I will definitely. Or is it like a pre-setup thing? I need to play my damn turn. Here come the hiccups. Oh, it's premiere. 27-minute long. Okay. And I shall probably do what I planned on. Let's see. Is he? probably use. Get it out of his hand. YouTube Dramasphere will shake here. Yeah, I don't like sticking my, you know what, in that too much, I'll be honest with you. But I will tell you, there's definitely no interest in me unless I'm screaming at people and calling them koozes or see you next Tuesdays or, you know, somebody's taking me to court or, you know, I mean, that's what everyone wants to see. That's really all they want to see at the end of it all. Kind of sad. Very sad, actually. Don't know if he has another council.
I need answers. You're going to help. Never take growth for granted.
Dog tried to eat your phone? What? Are you serious? Alright, what has he got here? He does have Emeritus up front. He's got 2 of those. Plenty of those, okay. Okay. Probably should get rid of that mathematical equation thing. How many of those does he have? I think that was the only one he had. Oh, wait, he's got another one. Yikes. That could get bad. He draws that. I think everyone can tell the complete mood totally shift after those groupers quit trolling here. No, they didn't. They came back as soon as their Lord and Savior was let out of jail, I guess. They decided they wanted to come take some kind of weird victory lap. Yeah.
It's Professor Delian. Thank you.
Still kill and try to destroy. They have no. They have no. Is that place here? Oh, it's a PGS space E. What's up, Just Cause? Good to see you. Yeah, but it just really has revealed like what people are really interested in on YouTube. It's pretty bizarre, actually. Kind of staggering. I think I'm gonna sweep again. and then get rid of his Mathemagics. Do that.
One last experiment to conquer death.
Gotta bounce off. Alright, there we go. I think the next important thing probably would be a tide collar. I don't really know that my opponent has anything that really wanna. Meanwhile, he's gonna have plenty of mana, but he's not really gonna have anything to use it on. I'm gaining 3 life or 2 life a turn. No, 3 life a turn. He's losing 3 health. The math is it's gonna be very interesting. Do this. It's gonna start adding up on him. Start piling in. So that's 6 damage. Boom, boom. He's gonna bounce that off, probably. Maybe, I don't know. Yep, I agree. Just cause it's very good to see you back. Just cause says good to see you back. And let him steal, kill and destroy, baby. Nope. I'm gonna nibble on some of this popcorn here because I'm hungry. You getting hungry too? Maybe I'll wait then. So I'm going to start trying to schedule some games and stuff like that. Try to organize so you guys are a little bit more predictable when I'll be playing certain games. The dog tries to eat everything. I tried a little hot sauce on an extension cord. Yes, extension cords, they just want to chew everything. Yep. Drag the fan around by its cord. That's crazy, dude.
Never take growth for granted.
Opponent mills 3 cards. And, oh, that could be a problem. Jetsam and floatsam. All right, we won. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make a change now on this deck right here before I forget. I'm gonna go ahead and. All right, this guy's gone. We're gonna do an Emeritus. 2 Emeritus. I don't know how Hound of Hell didn't get electrocuted. Thank God he didn't. We had Geronimo did that to, not Geronimo, Shadow did that to two of our vacuum cleaners. I think they were plugged in. Yeah, he's in a teething phase, it seems like. Just leave it there. Opponent has. Just get rid of one of the creatures, I think. That'd probably be the smartest thing for me to do right now. Oh, give me a mana. Yes, nice, okay. Probably gonna seam rip that mass. And then next turn I'm gonna sweep the board with the deadly cover up. Make him use the let's make him use the shard. There you go. Perfect. Less options in his hand. Sure. See? Thus begins the climb back. Need my professor now. Fleetwood back. We're gonna do the grilled cheese with the canned soup with our homemade bread. You're gonna use your crappy fake cheese. Oh, you did. Are you gonna use real cheese? Oh, there's a triangle of cheese. If you want to do some of that on mine, if you don't mind. Oh, that's gonna taste so good. Sorry guys, I just got all excited. My wife's gonna make me a. She's gonna make me a sandwich. My wife's gonna make me a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup. Really looking forward to it. Alright, opponent's at 22. What are you guys having for lunch? I didn't know how I got a dog. I told my wife I wanted an excavator for her upcoming birthday, but I got a dog instead. That's funny. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, life. Ooh. Sure. The non-land permanent. Alright, down to 8 life. Seam rip that. Okay. Guess you got the wrong one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 this time. Gain a life. And we're gonna go. One life to seam rip that. Put that on the bottom. Bottom. Oh, keep that on top. All right. Nice. What up, Bendy Bob? Good to see you. Bendy Bob sent 2 stars. What? That's weird. I hit the like button, answered the poll, and saying goodbye. Good day, Jesus. Well, good day to you. Thank you for supporting the show. To land. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. I mean, he's got to block this guy right here, right? Sure. Go ahead and activate that. Guess he didn't read his own card. Good game. To beat it all, somehow the wife somehow convinced me it was my idea. How do they do that? Oh, they're expert gaslighters usually. All right, guys. Well, we're doing pretty good here. We're moving up. It is what it is. Not too exciting being in a drama-free channel, is it? Tapped. Deck I just played.
My job is to teach. Yours is to learn. I knew you were unprepared.
Let's see if he wastes an extra card for that. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
What a pest. I have life essence to spare.
How you doing, Finny? More mana.
Endings arrive too suddenly.
Leave that on top. Gotta stop the bleeding a little bit. Next turn, I'm just gonna sweep. I'm gonna desist. Perfect. Okay, good. Awesome. Do another one. Come on, got something else. I was expecting. Could have waited one more turn, huh? Okay. Turn. Sure. Oh, my opponent's not going to be a happy camper. Not going to be a happy camper at all. All right. Just going to desist the whole shebang. I'm going to hold off on making. Actually, I think I can make it. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it does anything. He's not gonna be happy about that at all. Swinging for 6 a turn. Got him on a 2-turn clock right now. That's pretty cool. I think you thought that through. Man, I'm so looking forward to the... Alright, we are Diamond... We're heading to Diamond Tier 1, guys. After Diamond Tier 1, I think we get into Mythic? Yeah, I think after Diamond, it goes into Mythic. So... Then after Mythic, it goes into top 2,000, 1,000. So we're making our way up the ladder, folks, little by little. On land. Dang. Yep. This usually happens. Usually happens when they start getting on a roll, you know? More land that doesn't come into play tap would be ideal right now. Opponent's leaving one man open. Like, come on. Likely for he's gonna save it right here. That's game. Yep, and it's a tap land, of course. Wow. That's game. Yep. Man, so do we 4-1 right now? 4-1. Brotato. It's like a potato, but a bro. A brotato. It's my opponent's name, Brotato. Got another AFK. Another landfall deck. Yay. Yay! Landfall, yay! Like the same dude? Get tired. That's pretty big. And make him use it. Of course he will. Of course he's got it. Why wouldn't he have it? Of course. Naturally. Gotta love the landfall, baby.
I'll make short work of this problem. This is merciful.
Poor land. He's going for base. I don't know, that might have been silly.
I can heal you.
Let's see what my opponent has here. Oh, I should have done downtown. Okay. Get fucked. Yes, you watching any Sean Ryan show lately? Yeah, I'm actually gonna. I mean, it's not drama. If if I'm reviewing things. I could still review YouTube channels, so I think I might start doing that, because I'll be honest with you, I like to be distracted, check out certain things, you know. So wow, I've lost like quite a few subs though, guys. Kind of interesting, isn't it? I guess they were only here for the drama. They were only here for the lulz. It's like stuff is kicking off in South Korea. Yeah, because I get it. Like, this isn't really for everyone, so I think I'll do is I'll do it like that. I mean, there's no reason for me to like not continue to do what I like to do, which is review videos, right? I don't want the whole like interpersonal like podcaster drama. I don't want anything to do with that. People want to debate, that's fine. I don't have a problem with like polite debating. I just don't want the real world crap, if that makes any sense. All right, let's go here. So the caption says, South Korea holds defense drills as Trump pulls back on military exercises. Interesting. South Koreans do not mess around, I'll tell you that right now.
All right, you guys, happy Tuesday to everyone except the people who think that we need positive evidence to share our opinions and cannot comprehend why that's patently ridiculous. Like, I think granola is delicious when I'm pregnant. Where's your positive evidence for that? Shh. We can just say what we think, put ideas together. And as stated yesterday, there must be a sentence handed down from the Court of Candace for Turning Point USA's misdemeanor offense. They ran afoul of CO code 92784, colluding with debate bro slobs to attack me, violating my personal space, ignoring the rules, having the permanent creep Steven Crowder sneak his CEO into my home to join Steven's show from my children's playroom without my consent, without my knowledge. None of that can be tolerated under the current law that we have on the books. We all know what their punishment is. It's what their punishment always is. I am the magistrate, therefore the judge and the jury. They have been sentenced to what they hate the most. More truth. Welcome back to Candace. Get ready because it's another big one. It is explosive. We have something to share that's never been seen, our favorite. But first, we have to jog your memory of whence we came. And I want you to lock in and really pay attention to the details. They matter. So I'm going to ask you the question, what was the original moment that made people suspicious of what happened on September 10th? What was the first thing that you saw online that made your eyebrow raise, so to speak? I would offer that it was when Terrell Farnsworth, Turning Point USA's audio and visual lead, he runs Visual Impulse.
I actually remember, I remember that day because I was watching Made by Jim Bob on that day, and he used to make fun of Charlie Kirk real bad. Kind of had like a Aliens versus Predator kind of like, where Charlie Kirk had like this crazy smile. You know, his gums were weird. He's got like baby teeth, but like big gums, and it just looks like an alien almost, you know. And I remember that. And Made by Jim Bob used to make fun of him all the time. He used to just clown on him all the time. And I don't know, man. It's like, and then he hasn't done it since. But I guess it just kind of goes to show you, like, you know, be careful who you kind of go after. Like, careful who you call coups, you know, because, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe some assassin's bullet might rip through their head and then you'll feel bad about it. Or their neck, or allegedly not go through their neck. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what we're doing. I don't even know what we're doing. I don't even know. But you got to be careful, I guess, because people are here 1 minute and they're gone the next day.
Was seen taking down the cameras, particularly actually taking down one camera, the camera behind Charlie's head. And this turned out was less than 4 minutes after Charlie was hit. We know he went up and he recorded himself. He announced that Charlie was dead. He went down and he began removing that camera in particular. Before anybody knew who he was, I knew who he was, but the rest of the world just went, what's going on? Why are we violating a crime scene? Why is somebody moving a chair that Charlie was just sitting in to stand up and take that camera down? And I actually should be honest, unlike the rest of the world, I was not immediately suspicious because I knew Terrell. You'll recall this, right? I reached out to him, I've known him for years, and I said, what's up? I assumed that there had to be some sort of a reasonable explanation. That conversation took place, remind you, on September 18th. Reached out to Terrell, got him on the phone, was expecting something simple, and instead, it was the phone call itself that made me feel suspicious. I went to my team, something is wrong. I've gone over this moment to you guys so many times. It's because Terrell was nervous. He was offering me various increasingly bizarre reasons as to why he could not show me the back footage. People thought maybe the back footage caught the person from a crowd that was, shot Charlie. And I just said, okay, let me see it. And he said he didn't want to share it because he didn't want Erica to see Charlie get hit in 4K. And I said, okay, well, it doesn't need to be shared. You can just tell me and I'll tell audiences that I saw it and everything's okay. And the craziest part of all was him telling me, again, you'll recall, because I said this to you right when it happened, specifically, that he did not know how to send the file to me. I said, just send it to me. I'll watch it. Obviously, I won't share it. And he said, I don't know how to send the file. And I said, Harold, you run an AV company.
Right.
You don't know how to send a file.
I mean, that's super sus, man. Here's the thing that I think people don't realize. I think Candace knows way more about what's going on and has way more information. And I think what she did was she just kind of put a couple things out there and just wanted to see how it settled in. That would be my guess. My guess is that's exactly what she did. And this whole thing's getting real interesting. Hey, JP, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Support of the show. Very nice of you.
Follow my instructions, and you might survive.
Oh, I don't know why I did that. Dang it. I don't know why I did that. Son of a biscuit. Oh, my bad. Yep. Should not have done that. I guess it was going to go out of there and one way or another.
Will only sting for a moment.
Thank you so much, JP. All right, let's see. Let's go. Let's do this. Nope. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do additional cost cast this spell. Collect evidence X, where X is the total mana value or permanence of this spell. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target enchantment. Okay. Go ahead and play that. Go ahead and get that going. Go ahead and do this. Good swing. All right.
And then he admitted that he did know how to send a file, but he didn't want to do it for fear that Google might hack him. Go back, watch the episodes. That's what he said. I've got proof that Google might hack him. What? But you see, it turns out that now we know that Terrell lied to me. Terrell's a liar.
No way.
I sensed it then, yes. I had an immediate intuition that Terrell was lying to me, that he maybe did know how to send a file, but he wasn't actually fearful that Google might hack him. They keep telling us our intuition means nothing, right? But guess what? My intuition and vibe in that matter has been proven correct. It was confirmed when the preliminary hearing took place, actually. You may have missed it. I'll slow that down for you. The lead investigator on the case, SBI agent David Hull, explained on the stand that actually on September 10th, so that would be 8 days before I spoke to Terrell. Actually, on the very day of the assassination, Terrell apparently did know how to send footage, and he chose to do that via a Google link. He used the very company that he would then tell me 8 days later he was...
You can't even write this stuff. I don't want to get hacked with Google and stuff, but I'm going to use a Google link. Yeah.
Was afraid was going to hack him. That makes Terrell a liar. He lied to me. I don't like when people lie to me. And like I said, there is entirely no dispute that he lied to me about his fear of a Google hack, because he actually signed and submitted an 1102 statement to that effect. It was entered in and discussed during the hearing. We can show you this statement from Terrell. And it tells us, and I'm going to read the first part first, that on September 10th, I, Terrell, the first person here, was present at the Turning Point USA Utah Valley University event. Myself and my team were there to provide video equipment, setup, management, and support, as we had done for Mr. Charlie Kirk for years. Our camera setup consisted of 3 angles: an angle directly on Charlie, an angle on the individual asking questions, and a wider angle behind Charlie that showed the audience and the crowd reaction. Okay, so a wider angle behind Charlie that showed the audience and the crowd reaction.
Jay.
That day, on September 10th, I
Trophy
provided
stuff.
SBI with 4 videos through a Google Drive. And then you see the link, and he tells you what those videos are labeled. Okay. And then he says these videos were taken by me and my team at the UVU event on September 10th, 2005. These videos, as they were provided to SBI, are a true and correct representation of what took place at UVU. Okay. Now let's understand that first portion first. He says that there are 4 videos that he sent to them. He says that there are 3 cameras. I want you to remember which cameras we saw around Charlie, generally speaking. Now there is one moving camera that I want to point out, which may potentially be the 4th camera, which was operated by a guy that seemed to be floating from side to side. I'm going to show you that. I'm, again, assuming this might have been...
Telling you, man, the whole thing it stunk, dude. It stunk like a Fed operation. Now I don't know who's Fed. I don't know what government was behind it, but it was 100% a mercenary hit. 100% people were paid to do what happened to Charlie Kirk. That whole thing was covered up, and it was a paid op. I'm my gut, in my opinion, my gut instinct tells me that that was an operation. I've been saying it, that it stinks pretty much since, what, the first day? The second day? For sure, when I saw her come out with her little sequins and her little sparkles, and then, you know, a lot of people were like, "No, you're being too hard on her. You're being too hard on her." And then all of a sudden, she, started the weird creepy coffin stuff. It was just bizarre, man. It's just some weird stuff. Not against the law, I guess, to be weird. My goodness.
A contractor, and maybe Terrell got that footage from him, and he was going from side to side. You remember him? But the more pertinent ones are the 3 static cameras that he is representing in his statement that he was operating. Here is the diagram of those static cameras, the 3 shots. Now we have one to the front left side of Charlie that is being operated by Robert Golo. In theory, I would say that it is actually the camera that is circled in blue right there. The yellow one is operated by Robert Golo. That's the one that he is going to be facing the person that's asking questions. The one that is in blue is the one that I would say would carry the most critical, graphic, up-close evidence of Charlie Kirk being shot, right? That's the one that was being operated by Jordan Wilson. In other words, if I were trying to gather evidence very quickly within minutes of Charlie Kirk being shot, I'd go blue. That's an opinion. I'm saying, were I in control of the AV department and I was trying to be useful to police, I'd probably grab that footage as critical evidence. And then I would grab that footage of what's circled in yellow, which we just discussed, that is, as he described, pointing to the person that's asking questions. We know that that has some rotating capability. I'd probably grab that 1 second, right? If you're trying to help detectives secure the best footage to scan the crowd, since that is the crowd footage, as he demonstrated, potentially to find a shooter in the crowd. I'd go, okay, number 2. 1, 2. I'm trying to be useful. But that third camera, to me, if I'm running this event, is instantly the most irrelevant because A, it's facing downward. B, it's behind Charlie. And traditionally, in case you're wondering or need reminding, all it showed was a view of what was happening below and around Charlie's feet and captured some audience, right? But not more than the yellow camera is going to capture. The red camera, if you want to capture the audience, you go with the yellow. And the reason why I'm saying traditionally that is what it showed is because there was a massive discovery from YouTuber Nissy when she realized that Terrell...
A YouTuber doing some good work. Oh, but according to some folks, as a YouTuber, you don't have anything of value to offer anyone. Silly goose.
Farnsworth, when he finally did show me the completely non-graphic footage from behind Charlie's head, had presented to me what appeared to her to be a zoomed-in shot from that camera. This is important that we go back and we revisit what it is that Nissy caught about that camera. Take a listen.
In this footage that Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, we can't see the ground where Charlie had been sitting. You're probably thinking, okay, so what? Well, I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll show you what. On February 28th, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at Florida State University, and here is the back camera shot. On March 3rd, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at the University of Southern California, and here is the back camera shot. Here's San Francisco, here's San Diego, Long Beach, Boise, Idaho, Washington State. Do you notice a pattern? The camera is...
JP's watching you.
...a wide-angle camera, and was always used as such. However, in the footage that Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, you cannot...
That's freaking awesome, JP. I am home. Hug was given. Good stuff.
...not see the ground. So either that day at UVU, they had changed things up and they had zoomed in the camera so that you couldn't see the area around Charlie, or Terrell had zoomed in after the fact and he was showing a cropped version of the footage to Candace.
Why did Terrell do that? Now, we've already demonstrated from Terrell's 1102 statement that he's willing to lie to me, so I don't think we can go directly to him and ask that question. We're going to have to continue to prod this narrative on our own to join Nissy. She raises an important question. Did Terrell do this after the fact? When did he do this? Because what we learn is compelling from Agent Hull, that on September 10th, Terrell did not give them the SD cards. So we see him, we're going to show you him race to take down that camera to then take the SD card out of that camera. And our assumption was that he handed that over to the SBI that was in charge of the investigation. But Hull is going to testify that no, Terrell gave them a flash drive. This means that Terrell inserted that SD card into a computer and then copied the footage onto a flash drive and similarly created Google links, even though days later he would be concerned that Google might hack him. Initially, he gave them Google links, but not the original SD card. Why? Why not hand the direct SD card over to the SBI's lead investigator? I mean, did Terrell think that they were not equipped with knowledge of how to use an SD card? Even I am, and I'm terrible at technology. But let's listen to Agent Hull's testimony, because actually, it's kind of absurd to consider that.
Agent Hull, any more video that you collected, or either you or another agent with the SBA?
Yes, we were able to collect video. TPUSA had a videographer, Visual Impulse, who was taking coverage of the event, and they provided video to us that they had captured on September 10th of 2025.
And do you know who or how that video was collected from Visual Impulse?
Yeah, Mr. Farnsworth originally provided, I believe, a flash drive to Lieutenant O'Brien with one of the...
So he provided a flash drive, not the original. I mean, that's evidence. How, in what world, like legit, in what world would it be okay for them to do that? Make it make sense. They didn't take the SD drive. He made a copy, which how do you know it's the original? How do you know it's not CGI'd? How do you know any of that stuff? All right, it's a facsimile. I mean, this is insanity at this point in time. Absolute insanity.
Local agencies. And a short time after that, on September 10th, he provided downloadable versions, electronic versions to Agent Mortensen. And an 1102 was collected from him on May 6th of 2026.
Not the SD card, though. So when the footage began going viral, the clip of Terrell taking down that camera in particular, people online, I think, rightfully speculated that there must have been something really important about that back footage behind Charlie's head specifically. And then people were gaslit. We were told, no, there was nothing unique about that camera. There was nothing unique about that footage in particular. Terrell actually grabbed all of the footage, and he did so because people were stealing and people are evil, which we then said our common sense went, that doesn't really make sense, because if he was worried about people stealing, like, wouldn't he be concerned with the camera? It was just the SD card that he took out.
All right, guys. We're Diamond Tier 1, working our way up to Mythic. Mm-hmm.
It was Andrew Colvett who offered that excuse, by the way, to Tucker Carlson. Again, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I'd like to, he said, because I know people can be evil. Let me try that again. Because I know.
So he's worried about people stealing hats off the table, yet he leaves a $4,000 to a $10,000 camera. I have no idea how much that was. Somebody would say it's about a $4,000 to $10,000 camera. I don't know, somewhere in there. He's worried about the hats that are being stolen. People are evil. But he leaves the camera and takes like a $80 SD card. Make it make sense.
No, people can be evil. Okay, one more time.
This grilled cheese sandwich is amazing. My wife makes the best sandwiches.
I took the SD cards because I know people can be evil. Beautiful, beautiful. Really, the Academy Award goes to you, Andrew. But you said cards, and what we noticed was that it was card. It was that one first. It struck me and others as odd, but Here's Andrew reinforcing the narrative that this is a conspiracy theory. There was nothing special about that particular footage behind Terrell's head. He was actually worried about all of it. But actually, if you keep reading Terrell's 1102 statement, it flies in the face of what Andrew has said. There was something unique about the footage behind Charlie's head. There had to be something particular about that footage, which moved Terrell or maybe someone in the SBI, but it's not clear, to create a clip out of only the footage behind Terrell's head. I mean, behind Charlie's head. Just that back footage. We're going to read the rest of the statement, okay? Terrell writes in the statement, and we can pull up that statement if you guys have it. It reads, regarding the clip, which has been labeled 80704, turning point footage of the crowd and behind Charlie, I have reviewed, and from what I can see, it is a true and correct representation of a portion of the larger files previously sent to SBI. So let me slow that down for you because it's very important. What we are learning is that they had 4 videos. Go pull that back up, please, and you can split this. They had 4 videos in total, and you can bring me in on this just so I can explain this. And of those 4 videos, they're telling us the length of each of those videos here. One is 26 minutes, another one is 26 minutes, another is 26 minutes, and a fourth one is 23 minutes. So that, I'm assuming represents, because this, Charlie got hit very quickly into the event, that this represents the full length of all of that footage of the cameras that I showed you. Despite having all of that footage, they decided to clip from the camera behind Charlie's head a special clip. And that is what Terrell is saying, you know, I believe this is a true representation of the footage that was recorded. Why did they need to clip out from the full footage of that camera just a little 3-minute clip? That's the question, okay? So what we can discern from this is that for whatever reason, of all the camera footage that was provided across 4 cameras, only one of the 4 cameras that had footage, they felt they needed to turn into a clip. Like I said, we're not sure if Terrell clipped it or if it was SBI that clipped it. We do know that Terrell was the first to touch that footage. And we do know that the footage wound up clipped. And Terrell is testifying in a statement that from what he can see, it appears to be a true and correct representation of the portion of the larger files. Now, the way that he is phrasing that is interesting. A true and correct representation, because it would still be true and correct. It would still be a true and correct representation if it was zoomed in. We learned that during the whole back and forth regarding 12.1 and 12.4 in the courtroom when they were debating. They got to see zoomed in footage, but they were like, this is still a true representation of what happened. We're just zooming in and making some circles. So Terrell is basically saying it's still a true representation. It's plausible that the only reason they would have to clip that out is because it was zoomed in. You would have to create a new clip if you were zooming it in. You couldn't just run that in the entire content. So again, I want to underscore what I'm saying to you here, okay? You would have to clip the footage in order to zoom it. I am making the case based on Terrell's 1102 that the footage behind Charlie's head was specifically clipped. And I'm also going to make the case that contrary to what Andrew Colvett is saying, there was something special about that footage behind Charlie's head, and Terrell beelined to it in particular. And he was nervous about that footage in particular because he did not instantly grab all of the SD cards. He grabbed that one and he did it nervously. That's what people saw. He was looking around to see who was watching him as he took only the SD card from that camera before he disappears behind the tent. Let's watch that together.
Thank you. Very good.
Here he is. Here he is. He's taking down the camera altogether. If you're worried about theft, take the whole camera. It's pretty small. It's in your hand. He doesn't do that. He takes it apart and he takes the SD card out.
Excuse me.
And he looks around. He wants to see who's looking at him.
Sting for a moment.
And then he looks down at it and he walks around. And we had wondered, what did Terrell do when he walked around? He hasn't addressed any other camera there, just that one. Well, you don't have to wonder what he did anymore, because today I can tell you what Terrell did, because I've actually known what Terrell did since October. As I was wondering who could be trusted at Turning Point USA. And like I said to you instantly, there was a network of government employees that were fighting to get the truth out and wondering who they could trust as well. And now appears to be the moment to not tell you what Terrell did, but to rather show you and let you draw your own conclusions about whether Terrell appeared concerned about anything other than that particular footage, okay? Here is what Terrell did thereafter, seen for the first time. Terrell is there. He looks around, again, nervously.
You're talking to me?
And he puts the SD card in his pocket.
Last 2 bites.
And he zips up. He doesn't run to the other cameras and try to grab the SD card. Instead, what he does is he whips out his phone and he begins texting with someone. And that's what he does. He's texting with someone to say what? Who's he texting? What's he saying? If he's just out there fighting evil and worried about securing the footage, why didn't he grab the other SD card or 3 of them in a row? Who is he in communication with after he grabs that? Because I got to tell you something, Andrew. Were it me and I was amongst my peers sitting on a jury, I would not accept your narrative that he looks like he's worried about people stealing. Not about the hats, not about the other footage, not about the cameras. It looks to me like, and again, this is my opinion, it looks to me like he's completing a task and checking in with someone to say that a task is completed. Maybe, I don't know. I'm open to everything. Maybe there was some police officer who told him to take that footage in particular. I'm told that didn't happen. And I will say this, that when someone demonstrates that they are capable of lying to you, you have a right to take note. And Terrell lied to me. He lied to me about his fears regarding Google. It is therefore my opinion on the basis of everything that we are observing with our eyes, everything that I am observing with my 2 eyes, his mannerisms, the beeline to that footage so quickly, within 4 or 5 minutes, as if that had to be secured. The 11:02 statement, where we know that that footage in particular was clipped. I'm speculating because it was zoomed in. The questions that Kathy Nestor asked thereafter, things that she asserted about, they don't know whether or not that footage was edited. Your claim that the FBI has it, why? It's a Utah case. Why would the FBI have the SD cards? When I observe everything with my eyes, again, I don't think they're going to call me for jury duty in Utah, but it demonstrates to me that that footage was prioritized. So now the question is why? It was zoomed in, and if Nissi is correct, and this was unusual and new that that footage would be zoomed in, then the only thing that would be accomplished by that sort of a crop and a zoom in would be not showing us what happened below Charlie. But I need that footage. I'm being sued by Brian Hartpole. I'm going to need that footage. I'm going to need to trace that footage and to be able to understand the custody.
I love what she just said that. I'm going to need that footage because I'm being sued by Harpel. She's literally doing a shot across the bow for these people. She's saying, I'm going to need this footage. Why don't we see below the chair or the floor or where Charlie is? I want to see the uncropped footage. I need to see it. That's a powerful thing, right? The whole thing's really super suspicious. I've been saying from the get-go, this whole thing stinks. The whole thing stinks.
Of that footage and whether or not
A whole nother thing. Like for instance, you got her like selling like what $10,000 per plate meet and greet style things with a bloody microphone encased in glass, and she's posing next to it like with her back turned to it like it's some kind of that should be evidence. How is that not in the chain of evidence? Doesn't make any sense.
as Kathy Nestor is asking, it was edited before it was given via Google Link or via a flash drive.
That's very good, baby. Thank you.
To the SBI. And I'm genuinely asking questions here. But why did Terrell tell me that he spoke with Erica about that footage specifically? Again, he was lying a lot on that phone call. So I can't assert that he was telling the truth. But I do know, and I have proof that that's what he told me. And why did Turning Point USA gaslight us about the significance of the footage? Now we can read the case and see that there was something about that footage that required something different than the other cameras and the other videos that were running. It's significant enough for the SBI to create a specialized clip from it, or Terrell to create a specialized clip from it. Why continually gaslight the public into believing otherwise, pretending there's nothing interesting there? Terrell just violated a crime scene to secure it because he was worried about evil. Because people can be evil.
Oh, sure can. Oh, we know that firsthand,
Is the
don't we,
SD
chat?
card still in his right?
We know that firsthand, don't we, chat? Chat, have I or have I not? You've been paying attention. Pretty much from the first like couple days of this whole scenario. I'm like, something stinks here. Something is not right here at all. Something is 100% not copacetic. All right, hold on. I got to do something real quick. I'm going to full screen this. I need to switch to my other account.
Pant pocket, Andrew, Terrell, anybody. You say it was given to the FBI. Okay, well, why? It's a state crime. The FBI, under the law, is allowed to assist, but they don't have jurisdiction over the crime, over the state. In all practicality, the SBI should have been handed the SD card. And then if they wanted to, they could have handed it off to the FBI, but that should have been the flash drive copy. Anyway, I'm going to continue to think while it's still legal to do so. And I'm certain the internet will join me in that exercise. We'll be right back after a brief break. All right, you guys, I want to pass along a heartfelt thank you for my friend.
By the way, I'm letting these advertisements go because, I mean, this is her content. Least I can do is show her advertisements, right, while I'm using her content.
Over at Preborn, their president, Dan Steiner, asked me to share just how grateful they are for faithful supporters like you. So far this year, because of generous partners, more than 50,000 babies have been rescued from abortion. That means 50,000 lives changed and generations have been impacted. Every tax-deductible gift is used to rescue babies and share the hope of Jesus Christ with their mothers.
Amen.
In fact, this year alone, more than 8,000 women have made the decision to follow Christ, all because someone like you helped provide a free ultrasound. It costs just $28 to provide one life-saving ultrasound.
Oh, that's right, guys. We still got to do, we have our draft from last night still right here. Yep. All right, we got 2 wins, 2 losses. Let's see if we can't get a third win. That'd be cool. Oh, yeah.
And $15,000 can place an ultrasound machine in a pregnancy clinic where it can save countless lives for years to come. Your generosity is saving lives for both Earth and eternity. And today, there are still mothers waiting for that same life-changing moment. If you'd like to give, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby, or visit preborn.com/Candace. Again, that's preborn.com/Candace.
Come on,
I also want to remind you guys about The Wellness Company because Americans love sushi. Over the last 2 decades, raw fish consumption has exploded. Sushi bars are literally everywhere. Grocery stores, gas stations sell it, and millions of people now eat raw fish weekly. But there is a hidden risk that most people never think about: parasites. Salmon is one of the most popular fish worldwide, but it naturally contains more than 70 parasites. Most are tiny and nearly impossible to see, and they're making their way into the human body. Once inside, parasites can hide for years, while frequently laying eggs before any symptoms appear. Dr. Peter McCullough recommends doing a parasite cleanse at least once a year as a preventative measure. The Wellness Company offers a hard-to-access RX parasite
good old ivermectin
cleanse, USA compounded ivermectin and membendazole.
There it is.
Ivermectin paralyzes the parasite's nervous system, while membendazole starves them. Each capsule contains 25 milligrams of ivermectin and 250 milligrams of mebendazole, lab tested for quality. You can now get a more budget-friendly 45 capsule option that costs $250 less, giving you 2 21-day parasite cleanse cycles. Same formula as the original, just a smaller quantity. So head over to twc.health/Candace and use code Candace at checkout to save $52 off plus free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/Candace. It's for USA residents
better
only.
run. Don't get you.
So many things that I know. And I think the biggest thing is don't send a slob to my house. Don't do that. Please
You
don't
be able
do
to grab
again,
that, babe? Or
especially when I am pregnant with a boy.
I'm going to stack them.
It's deeply upsetting to me and it's unnecessary.
Got 'em.
Andrew, Erica in particular, you guys are really starting to partner with people who are interested in trying to psychologically go after me and my family, torment us, publishing things about my children's cars and the vehicles that they travel in.
It's pretty scoop. I'm telling you guys, it's like they got a program. These bagels have a program. These these demons have a program. This is exactly what they do to anyone that questions their narrative.
I think you should stop doing that. If I could just put something in the suggestion box.
But yes, what do you mean bagels? Synagogue is eating.
Just call off the dogs. Or don't. And we can keep having fun. Anyway, speaking of this totally inappropriate chain of custody, the FBI jumping on the case like cowboys. That's not how this works, actually. They are supposed to be used because your tax dollars pay for these things. When there is a case that obviously violates federal law, if it's happening on federal property, you don't get to have cowboy Kash Patel just go, I'm just going to come and bring everybody with me and take over the whole case and evidence. Yes, the State Bureau of Investigations, as you saw, can reach out to the FBI and help ask them to assist with certain testing and things of that nature. But the custody goes SBI and then FBI. So why the FBI interjected so quickly is in and of itself kind of a conspiracy. There was a man named John Kirikou, who is a former CIA officer who had a conscience back in 2007 during the quote-unquote war on terror. He became a government whistleblower about how some of the terrorists were being tortured. Anyway, John Kirikou went on to the Danny Jones podcast, and here is what he had to say about the FBI's involvement in the Charlie Kirk case.
Why is the FBI involved in this? Charlie Kirk was killed in Utah by a kid from Utah who left his house in Utah, drove to the university in Utah, and allegedly shot Charlie Kirk. Nobody ever crossed a state line. There's literally nothing in this case that would make it federal, unless there was a conspiracy, in which case it would be a federal case and the FBI would be involved. So Kash Patel was asked this early on, and he said, we're just offering the FBI.
Apparently, Ian Carroll did a really one heck of a really bang up job of reviewing this. Reviewing the debate. I actually kind of want to check it out. Apparently, it's pretty funny.
His expertise to the Utah State Police. Like, really? Is that just what it is? Because offering your expertise means sticking stuff in a FedEx and sending it to Utah so they can do with it what they want. Or maybe you put one FBI, lab person at their disposal. You don't have the FBI director fly out there with a plane load of FBI agents. It's not a federal case. I don't understand.
He is correct. This is unusual.
You are right.
And you have a right to feel that this is very suspicious. You have a right to ask questions, as I demonstrated in my back forth with Andrew Wilson. You have a right to look at this and go, hey, it's very strange that Kash Patel apparently shut down Joe Kent, who wanted to investigate whether or not there were foreign ties. If there are no foreign ties, then why would you have an issue with people investigating those non-existent foreign ties? And then when people say, hey, I think there's foreign ties, you gaslight them and say you have no positive evidence. How could we have positive evidence when the department that's supposed to find that positive evidence is told don't do that? And then we have Turning Point USA, who's upset with the person who wanted to investigate those ties, but not upset with Kash Patel. Going to events with Kash Patel, dressed up, your buddy. people are starting to notice that all of this does feel and look like a conspiracy. Who are the players involved? We don't know. But as I said, as they were intentionally trying to trip me into a lawsuit, you can see they're all salivating for me to be sued.
Yeah, they were salivating. They're like, yeah, we're going to get her.
Point it, sue her, Tony, point it, sue her, Tony, point it, sue her. Take her money, shut her down, bankrupt her. Charlie Kirk got killed and she cares and she won't let it go. Bankrupt her. Okay. Well, guess what? People are taking notice of that being odd as well. You're going after the people who are investigating it, and you're becoming increasingly more vicious in how you do it. You are spending a lot of money to do it. You are lying on record, getting caught in lies, and then gaslighting us by saying you don't have a right to recognize those lies. You recognize those lies. You have no right to recognize those lies. It's demonic for you to notice them. It's not working. And this has gone mainstream, obviously. And it is being discussed on the biggest platforms in the world, whether that's Sean Ryan or more recently Joe Rogan, who had a laugh alongside his guests Mark Normand, Shane Gillis, and Ari Schaefer as they were discussing the Tyler Robinson case and the odd and increasingly odd public relations campaign that is surrounding Erica Kirk. Take a listen.
I get it. Wearing that mask for a little bit, though, I genuinely, both Duncan and I, both gained respect for the furries.
Yeah, but then they shoot the president.
Nah, I don't know if they
Wasn't that
did.
guy a furry?
No, he loved a furry.
Oh, he loved a furry. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure if that's true.
All right.
The more time goes on, the more I'm leaning towards Candace Owens. I don't think any story that you hear in the news is
There it
accurate.
is.
I think there's
could be
always
none or
none.
spin on it at least.
There's always some spin.
But the
and
public
so
believes
whatever
it.
the spin
Yeah.
is, whatever the spin is about Tyler Robinson, there's some bullshit to it. I don't know how much of it is bullshit, but there's some bullshit. And one of the more recent bullshit is they found a photo that they were saying was Tyler Robinson, but then people noticed that the because he's real thin, people noticed that the cars in the background, the proportions were distorted. And then they realized that what they had done was taken a guy who's like much wider than Tyler Robinson and shrunken the perspective.
Really?
Yep. Yep. And then when you see him for what he really looks like, you're like, oh, there's no way that's that guy. That guy's big.
And then you're
Yeah.
like, well, it's mostly true. Like, no,
It
no,
doesn't
he's
add up.
shifting
No,
it.
no,
Oh.
they changed, like, you look at the
Didn't they do the opposite of what Joe Rogan's saying right now? I think.
hood of the cars behind them. They're all like that narrow.
Who is that guy?
What guy?
Tyler Robinson?
He was the guy who supposedly shot Charlie Kirk.
Kirk, yeah. Not the president.
Have you ever
What's-
seen Drewski's America Kirk?
Yeah, I
Didn't-
thought it
Were
was
people
Erica.
threatening him they were going to sue him for that?
I don't know. It's funny,
Which
though.
was
He's
would have been
so
the best
funny.
thing that ever
Stares at
happened
the
to him.
camera.
When he came out, he starts doing cartwheels and with white face on.
White face.
He's killing it, that guy.
White
Every
face
video kills
rules.
him.
Yeah.
When he goes to the
man.
NASCAR,
Drewski rules.
Yeah, he's
unbelievable.
Funny dude. Funny dude. People that got upset with that, shut up.
I know.
You don't think it's weird the lady comes out to sparklers behind her? You're out of your mind. That's insane.
I know.
You don't think
It was
someone
a
can
funny
make fun
video.
of that?
She walks out like Randy Orton.
Right? I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? How does any of this make any sense? Andrew Wilson, nothing to see, nothing to say. Made by Jim Bob, nothing to see, nothing to say. Turning Point USA, nothing to see, nothing to say. Freaking Tim Pool, nothing to see, nothing to say. What other fucking Paramount Tactical? Nothing to see, nothing to say. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. You know, I told you guys. I told you guys months ago. I told you guys. I wonder if Dusty has that stream still, where it was like 3:00 in the morning, and I got on one of his live streams. It was like towards the end of when he's getting ready to go off, and we started talking about it. And we were talking about Crowder, we were talking about Andrew Wilson. We were talking about funneling money to Andrew Wilson to do a particular thing via super chats, and how these just random out of nowhere doesn't make sense giant super chats come in for Andrew Wilson. Now, some people could say, well, you get whales like Finkel and drinking my coffee, like Finkel and a couple other people that gave a lot of money. I mean, whales come, whales go, right? But here's the thing, I'm not for sale. My voice is not for sale. You're not going to dictate what I can and can't say. You're not going to dictate what I will and won't say. It's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Right? And I posited that that they were laundering money to these people. They were paying them. Like there people were saying, like, if you do like anti-Palestinian, pro-Israeli like segments and stuff like that, or if you go against Candace, then you'll get like a $7,000 check per like however long you do a particular segment. I don't even know what the details are. I just know that there were people bouncing that around, and I'm like, man, that is kind of jacked up, dude. If that's really happening, what a perfect way to hide this kind of stuff. All right, we got an hour and 18 minutes on this goal here, guys. Hopefully we can get it. It's any super chat will be just fine. Speaking of which, see you later. Go ahead, get them. Get them. This is a drama-free. Good job. Oh, Morning Mist is on it. Get effed and stay effed, punk. Yeah, so we get a situation, right, where you can tell who's being bought and who's being paid for, and you can tell it's the usual synagogue of Satan types that are doing all the buying and all the controlling and all the attempted canceling. Yeah, it's how much are they? Well, how much is your soul worth to you? It's worth everything to me, and I'm sold out to God. I'm sold out to God.
Goldberg coming out.
Yeah.
He's going out.
Undertaker.
The Queen wore black for 80 years. You're coming out
Well,
with
then
a-
Crazy.
In interviews, she dresses like SEAL Team 6. She's all blacked out with like a black hat and everyving.
She's serious, bro.
She's
Navy
serious.
SEAL
Very
podcasters are cool.
She's serious.
You just have to love guy chat. That's exactly how everyone is speaking behind the scenes, and you just have to love Joe Rogan for having the courage to just have a boys chat publicly, which everyone's relating to and laughing to, except for Turning Point USA, because this has been their PR strategy, this bizarre strategy to go after the comedians for noticing, to go after people for noticing, for trying to entrap them into lawsuits by sending D-list debater bros who know nothing about the case for trying to investigate the case. I mean, it's backward. The best thing that they could have done would have been to say and do nothing for at least a year, rather than partnering with Charlie's enemies, saying that his friends were enemies and that his enemies were friends. None of this is making any sense, and we have now reached peak comedy with people now just leaning into it and mocking it, and somehow they continue to go after me as if I were not here, this conspiracy would somehow stop. I'd like to remind everybody, I was the last to comment publicly about the strange behavior of Erica Kirk, and I only weighed in beginning in December when she went on to a press tour and explicitly shared something that was untrue, that the night before, Charlie was not sending messages saying that he feared for his life. So we are to believe that Charlie did not share his fear with his wife at all the night before, when she says he was just so excited to do what he's always done, so excited to go to UVU, he couldn't sleep. Maybe he couldn't sleep because he thought he was going to be killed. That makes more sense to me. Never known Charlie to not sleep over a tour stop of a place that he's already been. This is not a thing, but maybe he down the line just became so excited about going to tour stops that he couldn't sleep and was eating in the middle of the night. It's not adding up.
I mean, there were rumors going around that I guess maybe I shouldn't repeat it, but that there were definitely some big time issues between some difficulties. His ring, he had to go find his wedding ring because he wasn't wearing it. He ended up sleeping in one of his kids' rooms apparently instead of with his wife. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. A lot of crazy stuff going on.
Anyway, another video I want to show.
It's almost like he knew. You know, I think men can secretly know when their wives are up to some F-ish, if you know what I'm saying.
Yesterday, I was telling you about this account at Where Forbidden. They are just brilliant. I mean, talk about somebody who has the creative force within them. They have dropped a new Erica Kirk video, and it might be my favorite. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Take a listen.
This stuff is pretty hilarious, man. All right, let me see. Let's do this.
Erica? What are you doing out here? Shabbat Shalom. I choose you, Pickle Puff.
Positive evidence.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Positive evidence.
Pickle Puff, attack.
Positive evidence. Positive evidence.
Pickle Puff, do something.
Positive evidence.
This was a terrible investment.
Positive evidence.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Shapiro.
It's just absolute
Epic. Oh, come on, guys. Chef's kiss. Telling you, man. The bagels have gone too far over their skis, man. The normies are waking up. The normies are noticing.
absolutely brilliant stuff.
Time to pack the suitcases and dig the tunnels. It's time to pack the suitcases. But quick, let's build a tower to Babel.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. The comedy that is coming out right now. Again, like I said, we have reached critical mass with this with this. And so sending out these influencers and wasting money doesn't work. Just sit down, have a full conversation. I mean, it's just so easy. Like I said, there obviously not just could be, there are likely a ton of things that we have gotten wrong as we have pursued this investigation. And I'm saying, when I say we, I'm referring to all of the investigators, independent investigators, whether that be Nissi, Baron Coleman, Ian Carroll, Coach Colin. Sure, I'm sure we have made some errors, but we did not make them knowingly, and we wish to correct them if we did make them. And the best way to solve this is to just sit down and be honest. You know, I actually taught a great lesson yesterday or last week in my debate when we turned Andrew Wilson by the end of it into a conspiracy theorist who thought that I was receiving text messages on my phone to remind me of what the charges were, and then thought that I must have been receiving them through Signal or through Telegram. What did I do? First thing I said, here's my phone.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no conspiracy, there's no conspiracy. Transparency is the best way to debunk any and every conspiracy, if that's what you call them, alternative theories. I demonstrated that. When you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to hide. So I don't understand why Turning Point won't engage in that by just sitting down and having Erica answer every possible question about what happened on that day. Andrew Colvett, Blake Neff. Here's my phone. Here you go. This is what happened. Here's where I was. We're not getting that. And the longer that it takes, and then when you choose to finally share some daylight, you pick Andrew Wilson and you give him a text message never before seen.
Right.
By the way, it's still never before seen because we haven't seen it. He's teasing it. I can't wait. Another little trap. I can't wait for that text message to be publicized. I'm so glad just even knowing that it exists, that it was in Andrew's hand. That's already helpful for me. And we will take a brief break, and I will come back and respond to some of your questions and comments. All right, you guys, I have to tell you about Paleo Valley beef sticks because my husband recently got back from his Catholic pilgrimage in Spain, and apparently they were an absolute hit. The unofficial snack of the trip. He packed them for himself, was handing them out along the way, and before long, everybody was asking for one. It sort of became this running joke while they were all walking. Everybody was coming up to him saying, "Do you have another?"
A running joke while they were all walking. Come on now, Candace. You missed it on that one, Candace. They're going to call you on that one, Candace. You really stepped in it on that one, Candace. Uh-oh, Candace. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Candace. All right, here we go.
One. Honestly, I'm not surprised because they're one of those snacks that don't make you choose between healthy and delicious. Paleo Valley uses 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef sourced from American family farms. But let's be honest, the reason that we keep buying them is because of the flavor. The original is the classic, but the jalapeno is my favorite because it has just the right amount of kick, and the teriyaki has the perfect amount of sweetness. They are savory, satisfying, and actually taste like real food. I always keep a few of them in my bag, my car, and even in my carry-on because someone in my family is always hungry. Clearly, my husband is doing the same. So if you're looking for a clean, convenient protein snack that tastes as good as it sounds, check out Paleo Valley beef sticks. Once you try them, you'll probably start keeping a stash in your bag as well. Right now, you can get 20% off your first order at paleovalley.com. Be sure to use code Candace at checkout. That's paleovalley.com using promo code Candace at checkout. I also want to remind you guys about American financing because everyday expenses keep climbing and high credit card interest.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Kool-Aid Man.
Is not making life any easier. If your budget is feeling squeezed lately, there's a smarter way to take back control. If you're a homeowner, your home equity is your best financial tool. American Financing can help you consolidate high-interest credit card debt so that you have some breathing room. Timing matters now more than ever. With a strong chance of an interest rate hike this September, waiting could cost you thousands. And with rates in the fives, there is no better time to find out how much you could be saving. Ditch those 20% interest rates by consolidating. You can slash your monthly obligations. In fact, American Financing borrowers save an average of $800 a month. Imagine what that kind of cash flow could do for your family. There are 0 upfront fees, and you may even delay up to 2 mortgage payments. So lock in your lower rate before September. Call 800-795-1210. Again, that's 800-795-1210, or visit americanfinancing.net/Owens. Again, that's americanfinancing.net/Owens. Okay, top comment from yesterday's episode, top comments. There's 3 of them. Kay writes, somebody's comment said, if you play the Andrew Wilson debate at 1.75 speed, bro's foot turns into a fan. I actually have to do that. That is hilarious. Nikki writes, paying someone $100,000 an hour to be humiliated is a rather expensive fetish. Indeed it is. Trillion writes, this debate is positive evidence that Turning Point USA has terrible PR. Overwhelmingly, I am overwhelmed that it is positive evidence that their PR strategy has just been an open and shut disaster from start to finish. It's unbelievable. They cannot stop blundering. Comments from today's episode, the one you feed, writes, Candace, please make sure that they did not do a BB and leave a bug in your house. First off, the zone that they were in is not a place that we are regularly other than when we actually film the show. And secondly, of course, George has already had the house swept for bugs. That was like the first thing he did, especially when we learned the Stephen Creeper and crew were here. Alicia Switzer writes, Ian Carroll did a great reaction video, 6 hours, and it was great. Kudos to him for calling the BS as we all saw it and stopping to call it out. I can't wait to get my new second favorite shirt. Stay amazing. We will continue supporting you. Much love from Missouri. I actually saw just clips of him, and I've shared some of them, and they're hilarious. And I do want to, when I have time this weekend, watch his reaction video because so many people have said that it was absolutely amazing. So shout out to Ian Carroll for that. And yes, you can support us. We do have, this is my second favorite shirt available on the website, merch. If you go to CandaceOwens.com, as we have learned, if you are going to commit a crime, please wear your second favorite shirt. So please wear this shirt in particular, buy it, wear it, do crime, but be smart. Don't wear your favorite shirt, because it's just not a good idea. And of course, it is in maroon. And we also have the shirts and the mugs from our debate classic. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Amazingly, he is still asking questions. He does not comprehend it. He does not comprehend hearsay. And the Crucible account is now getting fact checks, community notes on X, because they're like, right here it says that they spoke to the mom. Look at this warrant, the probative cause, the probable cause warrant. And Twitter just had to come in and explain to him, no, this is not a direct quotation from the mom. This is an officer that is signing a probable cause warrant. He can't he's had days and he still cannot comprehend this. So we are really hoping that Andrew Wilson will be able to understand it. We are done explaining it. It is now on him, incumbent upon Andrew Wilson, to do his best to sit down and understand why we are saying he is a hypocrite for allowing the courts to do what he says that we can't, which is to take a look at evidence and to infer upon it. He doesn't get it, man. It's just not all there. James Gray writes, the fact that a woman-hating man paid $300K to be dog-walked by a woman is insane. Congrats, Candace. You are a gentlewoman and a scholar. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I said, I am very proud of myself because I knew that it was Turning Point's horse. Even just them saying, we.
All right, we're going to check out Ian Carroll. Let's see. Apparently, he had like a 6-hour full recap.
You're going to pay $300,000 to debate Candace Owens, the world's foremost expert journalist in this field, and you're not going to prepare for your debate at all? You're not even going to read the most basic documentation and court filings to do with it? You're not going to know the charges or basically anything else in detail? That's dumb, and you're about to pay the price for it in 4K. Back to Canceling Carol. The studio's been packed up for several weeks now, but I had to throw a little thing together to respond to this debate, which I'm sure you are aware of, between Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens that happened yesterday. It's all over the internet. It's getting clipped like crazy. People have a lot of strong feelings, and I think it's pretty obvious who the decisive winner was. But there's a lot that was left unsaid. There's a lot of points that didn't have room or time or the inspiration to be made at the time. There's a lot of misunderstandings. There's a lot of funny moments to unpack and shillery and stuff like that. So I decided.
Oh, did the poll go away? What happened to the poll? There it is. Okay. Wow, only 55%. A lot of haters, dude. I could put like, would you pet a puppy? And like half the chat in here would be like, no, kick that puppy. I mean, you guys are people just freaking weird, dude. No one hugs anyone that they love. Do you have? Well, maybe they don't have anyone in their house in their life that they love. I guess I don't know. All right, here we go.
That what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full reaction to the whole thing and add a lot of commentary over a lot of parts. And it's going to be a pretty long video. We won't play it at normal speed, so we'll move through it as fast as we can. But for people that want the full thing all broken down with all sorts of points added in, this will pretty much be that. And then we will also make a shorter edit and try to get that out tomorrow or something like that. That will be more shareable.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if you got that other one out. Did you put it out? This is it right here. Yeah, this is a little bit. Okay, this one's smaller.
Oh my God, this part. This is the part. Oh my God, this is the part. Amidst all of this awkwardness, this magical moment of cinema. We'll never get another one like this. I'm not going to say anything during it. We're just going to enjoy it in all of its glory.
4 clips you were saying with Erica, so 100%.
This is absurd.
Okay. And this is the one you were saying from 7 days ago. Okay, while they're looking for that, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I mean, can I ask a question? I know it's been, or can I ask a question? Are we?
Not really. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
We're gonna hold to the actual contract itself.
The contract does not say that you are allowed to just question me without me being able to respond to.
I've never said you
or
can
have
respond.
a conversation.
You've been able to respond to every question I've asked you. And by the way, the other thing is like.
Let's have it your way. I want it to look like
still
we've done everything Andrew wanted to, so that people can fairly assess the situation. So you have it your way. I will not ask a question.
Totally fair with me.
So you would ask a question or no?
He said no.
Waiting for the clip.
Okay, so you want to wait for the clip first. Okay. You guys have it in the back?
We're just waiting for the
clip. Okay,
clip.
beautiful.
We're waiting for the clip. Dude.
In fact, I don't need dreams of any kind because I hold in my possession never before seen messages from Charlie Kirk to the security team on September 9th, 2025.
So he's carefully laying out in his prepared written statement that he has a secret text message that no one else has seen that Charlie sent the day before he was killed. How did Andrew Wilson get this text message? Obviously, he was given it by Turning Point USA, thereby by Erica Kirk. And he admits as much later. So that's interesting. We'll get to that in a second.
I'm going to share the message with you today, which is the first time this information's ever been publicly revealed. On September 9th, Charlie's security team wrote to him, yes, law enforcement has been fully supportive and agreed to a security plan and posture. Tomorrow's event will be covered by both my team and the campus PD. If additional support is required, patrol units will be available. I have 11 on site. Charlie responded with this, okay, great. Remind them that they are there for one person's security only, because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me. That was a message sent September 9th.
There's some discrepancy now between what he is claiming in this debate with this text message and what Erica Kirk herself claimed several months ago during an interview.
Charlie responded with this, okay, great. Remind them that they are there for one person's security only, because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me. That was a message sent September 9th.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
That Erica clip is from back in the day when a lot of us weren't sure what to make of Erica. That's back in the day when I thought that Erica knew what was going on and was searching for justice behind the scenes. That was back when I suspected that Erica Kirk was pushing for answers before we saw her do the cover-up. This was one of the first interviews where it really started to come across that Erica Kirk is not interested in any investigation or any answers beyond the ones that are already being supplied as certainty. And you could hear in her voice this sort of snide, he was not doing any of that. He didn't send anything like that, and I know because I have his phone, to sort of exaggerate.
Well, that sounds like a good old little rabbit foo-foo, huh? Oh, I have her phone. Matter of fact, I'm responding. I'm texting on it right now. I mean, how disgusting, dude. How disgusting. How disgusting. How was her phone not collected as evidence? How come there was not a warrant requested for that phone? How come? Why was there no due diligence done in that regard? That's just crazy.
It. And that really spoke to me at the time, still does, as being like, fuck you, and I've got the phone, I've got the evidence, and it's a weird tone to take about your husband's murder investigation, to be snarky about how you know exactly what's true because you have the phone. It's just a little too tactical to come with your prepared written statement that references your never-before-seen evidence that was provided to you by TPUSA, who's totally not paying your $300,000 bill for this debate at all, even though you went and met with them and then changed your stance on them and then started white knighting for them right after you were paid to train their debaters for debates. It's all a very funny series of events to get Andrew Wilson here with that text message that is awfully suspicious and directly contradictory. So it's like either Andrew Wilson is lying or Erica Kirk was lying directly into the camera on behalf of TPUSA.
Candace's investigation is indistinguishable.
A whole lot of lying going on nowadays, huh? A whole lot of liars doing lying things, huh?
From a leftist operation. She couldn't be doing more damage to the right if she were trying. She uses her considerable platform to relentlessly attack one of the most influential conservative.
You know who couldn't be doing more damage to the right than possible? Trump. The uniparty blob around him, the deep state, and all the influencers that are peddling all their bullshit and, you know, papering over all the lies, all the broken promises, covering up for the Epstein files, pretending like we all wanted the Iran war, pretending like we're not losing the Iran war objectively, intensely, and really horribly. There's really no one that is doing more damage to the right than Trump and, you know, the right that is currently in charge of the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the fucking White House. So let's be clear about who is destroying the right. Nothing wrong with commentators, you know, objective commentators that voted for him, that supported him, that are now promise broken by him. Nothing wrong with them criticizing him for all that. Perfectly fine. And to be clear, Charlie Kirk would have been one of them. That's the whole premise here. Charlie Kirk would have been criticizing Trump over all of these things too. He did objectively all throughout his final years of life. I would make the argument, I'd be happy to make the argument, that Turning Point USA is actually doing more damage to the right by turning to now support Israel full on, support the Iran war, try to, you know, finagle a version of like, oh, come on, kids, there's no affordability crisis. They're trying to peddle all of the mainstream slop when that was never what Charlie was doing. And so Turning Point is damaging themselves because they're going to destroy their own credibility by doing so. Not to mention, you know, all this stuff about the case and Erica and Blake and Andrew and all that.
Fed slop. So I'm grateful that you came today. I don't need to, like I said, take cheap shots and discuss your manner of debate or your strategy. And I'm also grateful that you shared that you had that text message today, because everybody watching knows that I have been demanding not a debate, just an open conversation with Turning Point USA. They should be here. It shouldn't be you in that chair. It should be the person that took Charlie's place, maybe Erica Kirk, maybe Andrew Cole, that he's a spokesperson. And rather than doing that, they send us another influencer. So let's see how it goes.
Just out of curiosity,
smart tactic to just assert that.
What is the likelihood that you think Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk and killed him?
Based on the evidence right now,
critical moment. What percentage of certainty do you have on your theory?
I don't know. I'd say 75, 85%.
Candace?
So he's 75 to 85% sure that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. That is not overwhelming. If you're 75% sure of something, you're not overwhelmed. Okay? 3/4? 2 coin flips. They land on heads. Whoops, you killed the wrong kid. That's not overwhelming evidence at all. But whatever.
0%?
0%.
I'm at 0.
So
What
that's
we've seen in terms of the evidence, I'm at 0%.
So not.
And yeah, I was at damn near 0% just from the nature of the wound and the alleged firearm used. Just based on the bullet, the alleged bullet, the magical bullet alone, we're damn close to 0%. Like, as in, the chances of that shot making that wound is well under 1%. If you shot that shot 100 times at a human neck.
That Tyler Robinson's rifle was found near the crime scene. So I would consider that to be very good evidence. And also the fact of the matter is that I dispute this claim that a 30-06 could not have made this wound. I think that that's absurd. 150 grain Remington core locked absolutely could shatter.
This statement that he's about to make is pretty special.
150 grain Remington core locked absolutely could shatter when it hits the neck of any human being. When you say that there's some steel neck and it's a smaller caliber, you have to make a counter explanation. Why wouldn't a smaller caliber also go through bone?
It could. I didn't say it can't.
Right, exactly. So if that's the case, then ammunition is going to be
smaller rounds often penetrate more, actually. It's kind of counterintuitive.
The critical key here, and if we have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip.
Did you hear that? We have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip, soft tip. One more time.
Then ammunition is going to be the critical key here. And if we have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip round. Well, I'm sorry, not a flex tip, a soft point round from 100.
That's not frangible. That's not a frangible round. Totally different. Soft point, not frangible. Frangible designed to sort of turn to tiny particles on impact so that it doesn't penetrate anything and won't hurt, civilians around, often carried by police officers. That's not what a soft point is at all. And he should know that. A soft point is a hunting round designed to mushroom and expand within the wound cavity and penetrate with expansion to kill an animal as effectively as possible. It's not designed to break up into tiny little pieces, and it's also not designed to fully penetrate like a full metal jacket round would be.
50 grain Remington core lock, that's just a small jacket that goes around the actual lead piece. This thing could have split apart in air for all we know. But
another amazing magical bullet statement we just can't get enough of. Apparently, soft point rounds can just break up in the air without even hitting anything, to quote Andrew Wilson. So either we're being disingenuous to try to manipulate a point out of nowhere, or we're really stupid and have been lying about our past expertise with firearms and know nothing about bullets. Because you can literally just Google that shit. It's not good.
This is what irritates me the most is like, why do people think that Andrew Wilson is some kind of firearms expert, some kind of like prima donna just because he has like he paid to get like a particular weapons license or whatever, that he has any kind of particular skill set? Like, why do we just automatically grant that he's not lying about any of this stuff? Yet I can't say the simplest thing without somebody going, "No, you're lying. He's full of crap." Oh. I'm just like, what? I mean, just the most mundane aspect of my military service. They're like, he's pumping himself up. I'm like, dude, if that's me pumping myself up, what kind of pogue shit were you doing?
I think have said on a platform that you were a gunsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for how many years?
Many years.
For many years. You also...
Very clever way for Candace to get in a quick snipe of a character attack on him, but sort of hiding it inside of being an actual relevant piece to what they're talking about. They're talking about bullets and guns. And so she's like, this is your credentials that you said. No. Even though she's also jabbing to be like, you remember when you lied about your fucking military service, bro? So, technically it's a little underhanded, but it's also very clever and well executed.
Hiding again, huh?
No shade.
Said that you were an Army
move.
sniper?
I wasn't a sniper in the Army.
Okay.
And I never said that.
Sorry, your wife tweeted that you were an Army sniper.
Yeah, I don't know. Like 15 years ago, she said something.
Does it change 15 years later?
She said that it was colloquial. So
Army sniper is a colloquial term?
Yeah, I was never an Army sniper.
Okay. What did you do in the Army? Did you teach us? She then corrected and said you taught rifles in the Army?
No, I didn't teach rifle. No, I taught rifle.
Taught rifles in the air. Well, I mean, that just sounds... This is what I mean about the average civilian person. Has no clue. No clue. What the hell they're talking about. It's just, they have no clue.
It's just a private citizen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was an NRA instructor for many years alongside my gun shop.
As with your expertise, when she gave testimony on...
So he was an instructor, taught rifles, He was in the army for an undisclosed amount of time doing Lord knows what, and he owned a gun shop. And he apparently thinks that this Corlock 150 grain soft point is a frangible round.
I want you to start with 2 points.
Okay.
Dust and debris in the gun barrel.
Yeah.
Secondly, the fact that there were 5 sets of prints, 5 plus actually by the end of the testimony, 5 sets of prints for which we already had the woman who worked for the FBI forensics testify that above 2 prints, if you're taking a sample, it's no longer a science, right? She testified that when they took the sample of what was on the trigger, they saw 5 plus prints, and among those 5 plus prints, Tyler Robinson's was the most degraded. So I would like you to explain how Tyler Robinson's prints could be the most degraded when she said, actually, you could have DNA on something that you've touched.
So she just did a lot of the work for him that I was describing her. It would be better if she made him do the work. If she asked him, do you know how many sets of prints were found on that rifle? Do you know who was the most degraded? Do you know these things? If she had presented that as questions rather than as giving him the statement to, put into, he would have been more fucked. It's not necessarily as honest of a debate strategy, but she could have really got.
You could have DNA on something that you've never touched. And to get DNA degradation, they've looked at pieces, items 20, 40 years on that don't have degradation. Yet Tyler Robinson's prints, amongst 5 plus other prints, were the most degraded on that weapon.
Yeah, so let's get into all 3 of the claims. First, with debris. When it comes to debris, firing a rifle doesn't always blow the debris out of the barrel.
Okay, that
makes perfect sense to me. I could see that being one of those funny myths that could go either way, that you'd have to
Yeah, I don't understand why people. I mean, matter of fact, we spent hours cleaning our weapons after taking them to the range. I don't dust and debris. Do you not? Okay.
Do it to see. Totally could believe that after you fire a rifle once, that there could still be debris in the rifle barrel. Makes sense. And it also makes.
I think it would actually increase the chances that there would be carbon buildup, at least, which is considered debris.
Sense that if you took a rifle and you put it into the bushes, some stuff could get in the barrel. And without detail on what this debris and dust is, yeah, could be. Could also be because there's dust in the barrel because it wasn't fired. But,
You think there could be debris and dust. Yeah. He just fired the weapon. Sure. Okay.
Not only that, he left it in a forest. Now, I don't know if you agree with me, but if you leave a rifle in a wooded area, it's also possible that debris can get in that way. But I'm not even sure that that's what the case is. I think it's...
Having been to the wooded area and seen exactly where the rifle was left and comparing it to the photos of the exact bushes that it was in and how it was placed in those bushes at the time when they found it, I doubt that it was getting debris in it from the forest floor dirt, which is what he's implying, because that's not what the location was and that's not where the positioning of its placement in the bush was. But it's possible. I mean, that's just its final resting place.
The prints, we don't know all of the details on just yet.
We do. It was excruciatingly long testimony on the prints.
We don't, because they haven't gone to trial, so we don't know on the print front. But Tyler Robinson's DNA was on there. You made the claim that Lance Twiggs' DNA was on there, and it was not.
Well, when she gave the testimony, first let's go to your first point, because that's wrong. We can get a fact check on that. What do you mean we don't know until it goes to trial about the degraded prints? She testified, and she was the person who took the prints.
Yes, but the problem is that inside of this particular testimony, you agree with me.
I just think obvious trolls are just obvious. They're just obvious. I don't have any energy for these people. I just don't. There's just something wrong with these people. There's quite a few of them are mentally ill. I would agree. Probably almost every one of them. You look cute, baby. I like that shirt on you. Isn't that comfortable? The schmuck. You finally found it, huh? Yeah. See, now he's actually hidden. You're noticing things again. Remember, that is bad. Yes, I noticed lots of things. I noticed lots and lots and lots of things. Matter of fact, somebody's about to no longer be a part of my team. Not you, JP. Somebody else.
That there's going to be much more of the DNA analysis in the trial, right?
But you also would agree that her fact is not going to change.
I mean, it tells me everything I need to know, that the only reason why you're in my channel is when there's drama and crazy stuff going on. I mean, that tells me everything I need to know about a person.
That among the prints, his was the most degraded. So I'm asking you to address that.
Yeah, they'll give more testimony to support the analysis that they put in their report. They're not going to change their report.
How could that be possible?
Let's give it. Let's just grant this for a second as a possibility that his fingerprint.
Granted, it's a fact.
That's really graded.
It's not a possibility. It's a fact. The person who took it.
I'm just granting it for the sake of argument.
You should grant it because it's a fact that she presented.
Now it's granted. So what?
Andrew goes, I'm just going to grant it just for the sake of argument. No, you should grant it because it's a fact. Candace says, it's not something you grant just because you're doing some charity. It's literally a fact. This is hilarious. You should turn the volume up a little bit. This won't pick it up at all. But, you can probably have it up somewhat loud. But it might be a little delayed. I'll try to not talk a whole lot.
What do you mean, so what?
Yeah, so what? What does that prove?
And this is Andrew Wilson. And lots of people that have debated Andrew Wilson talk about how this is how Andrew Wilson debates. It's a lot of debate. It's a lot of like blood sport debate tactic as opposed to good faith, engagement with the information, the evidence that he is not familiar with. And it's a lot of semantic and philosophical so what's and like, what does that mean? And let's abstract it to this. And you're arguing from a fallacious standpoint, you're arguing wrong or, those sorts of things. And this is where it starts to show.
It proves that if his prints were the most degraded amongst 5 of them, you're going to have to explain how that's possible if he's the one that recently fired the weapon.
Yeah, so wait a second. You're saying that it's an impossibility, that if his fingerprints are the most degraded.
I'm telling you to
that's the
explain
case.
it. You're the gunsmith.
Well, you didn't say it's an impossibility. She never said anything close to it's an impossibility. That because his fingerprints are degraded, that he could not have pew-pewed somebody. I mean, this is what I'm talking about with these people. They completely strawman you. They completely and utterly strawman people. It's gross, man.
Wait a second. How would a gunsmith give an analysis on fingerprints or DNA? Do you think that I...
By not being a fucking retard, Andrew.
Well, I mean, if you have an understanding of firearms, you have an understanding that police would likely, go over stuff like that, right? You would have a general idea that you can pick up latent prints off of objects, one of which is often found to be firearms.
Obviously, when you get one footprint and then another footprint goes on top of it, you can rightly infer that the second footprint on top happened later, right? Similarly, if you're packing things into your deep freezer, your chest freezer, the stuff at the bottom of the freezer got put in first, right? And so if you have a bunch of fingerprints on a gun, which there's no reason there would be 5 sets of fingerprints on the heirloom that never gets fired, just to point that out. If it's an heirloom rifle that never gets fired, why are there 5 sets of prints on it? And so if the last person to shoot the rifle put their prints on last, then theirs are on top of all the others. And when you talk about degradation in regard to fingerprints, you're talking about like smudges and maybe chemical UV, maybe water damage to the surface of the ridges of the fingerprint. And, the likely version is because someone smudged it or wiped it to get rid of their prints or didn't. But there's no scenario where the most recent set of prints to go onto something gets degraded, even if I wipe it clean. There's no scenario where the prints that were underneath what I just did are not degraded and the ones that I just wiped off are degraded, because obviously they all got wiped. That aligns much more closely with he has touched his own rifle before, so his prints exist on it, but then 4 other people have touched it more recently for some reason.
This is not evidence that Tyler Robinson is a patsy. It's only evidence that you have conjectured up that,
Everything here is conjecture. It's irrelevant semantics on his part, and we'll get into lots of that later.
Well, if it's the case that these are the more degraded prints, then therefore...
Degraded. It's degraded.
That means must be patsy because dad's fingerprints on gun?
I didn't say must be
Describe
patsy.
how this...
Classic straw man. That's not what's being said at all. I just explained what's being said. He's pretending that he's too retarded to understand.
Actually links in to Robinson.
Are you hearing this?
Okay, I just described that for you, so I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you, so I'm going to move on from that. But to just go back.
That line is going to live in infamy. I can explain it for you, but I can't understand it for you is such a great mom line that a lot of moms are going to be using with their, snarky children, teenagers in the next year or two. That line is going to haunt Andrew Wilson forever. That's like a "have you ever been there" type of a line. And it's gold, pure gold. So I'm just going to move on from that. I can't understand it for you, Andrew, so I'm just going to move on.
They
1102.
want to go there. So they said there's a medical examiner's explanation of the shooting that's in the back. Rob, if you want to pull it up, and then Candace, if anybody from your team wants to pull something up, no problem as well, but they're requesting it. If you guys got it, pull it up so we can show it. And in the interim, is that it?
Yeah. So I'll read this.
Just what are we looking at, just so we know?
Yeah,
So this is one of the first of many throughout where Andrew Wilson has no idea what his team is going to be pulling up. And as he gets more and more worn down and more aware of how bad this is going for him, he gets so tired and worn out that like later on, it's like literally his team.
Well, it's kind of funny because his team is basically Crowder. It's the Crowder tards. And all they are is like, gotcha, kind of like trying to be funny. And like, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of disingenuousness, I think, in my opinion, to the Crowder tard.
Putting the clips in, telling Patrick Bet David to play the clip through Pat's ear, and then him interrupting, Andrew sort of floundering to be like, hey, your team has a clip that they want to play. Let's put it up. And then Andrew just going like, oh, thank fucking God. And they're like, let's find out what I'm supposed to react to now. As opposed to having like a coherent argument with like, you know, a plan. Whereas Candace is like, which document is this? Because I recognize them all, because I know them all.
This says the bullet, or at least part of it, sequentially perforated the interior left of Mr. Kirk's neck, strap muscles of the left side of the neck. This is a summary, by the way. Left common cartoid on the left internal external jugular.
Cartoid? It's carotid.
Vein. The bullet also obliterated the left side C27 vertebrae, transacted the cervical spinal.
See, there's these little things that are details. They're subtle, but details matter. And the way he read that sentence indicated that he didn't know what he was reading. Your carotid artery is very important. It's like if you were trying to talk about someone severing their jugular vein and they said their jugular. And it's like, so you've never heard a person, you don't know what that word is, right? You're not familiar with the word. So you're not familiar with the carotid artery. But also C27 is not what that says. It doesn't say C27. It says C2 through C7, abbreviated. Because that's saying your C2 vertebrae through your C7 vertebrae,
Actually, that's actually almost exactly where my injury is. On my C to my 2 to the 7. Yeah, that's almost exactly where my neck injury is. Huh.
standing for cervical. And it's that level of understanding of what the C stands for, what C2 is, what C7 is, where that is in the body, how the anatomy works. It's that understanding that you develop from working with the material of a case or the subject matter of an area of expertise if you're like a biologist or, you know, whatever. And so the fact that Andrew would read those sentences in that way is like, maybe it's just him, you know, being flustered or reading poorly or the screen's far away. That's possible. But it's not how it came across to me. And it's those little details that just add up over and over and over and over. And you'll notice
like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
It just makes me feel like Andrew doesn't know what C27 is, because it's not one statement. It's the fact that this whole portion of his neck is obliterated. And there's this whole chunk of his spine that is apparently like vaporized, basically, is what they kind of say there. And he's reading it as though he's never read that before.
Cord. Medical examiner observed a significant portion of Kirk's cervical spinal cord was traumatically absent. Mr. Kirk suffered from other severe injuries, including bilateral, apical, and posterior intercostal hemorrhages, pulmonary, apical.
Come here, Vinny. Come here. No, come here, buddy. You don't just claw at my arm when I'm... That's right where I want my arm. Come here. What's the matter? Come here. You want to cuddle? Let's have a cuddle. Come here. Yeah. Come on, let's have a cuddle. You cutie patootie. Come here. Want to cuddle? Finley, come here. Come here. Come here. No? Why is your tail tucked? Is your tummy upset or something? Come here. No? He's like, screw you, Dad. I'm going to hang out with Mom. Okay, fair enough.
Hemorrhages, multiple disruptions to the thyroid, et cetera, et cetera. So the summary of the examination said he was shot.
Okay.
That was what they were pulling that up for.
Okay, and I'm not disputing that he could have been hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that, so I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check. The second thing you said was Lance's testimony, and actually what Lance says is, I'm not 100%.
I agree.
But in terms of what he wears, again, pointing out the absurdity, he wears Converses, he wears sneakers. If his boyfriend is not 100%, I'd like to understand why Andrew Wilson is overwhelmed by it. That's what I'm trying to get to. And lastly, I would like to remind you that Lance's statement would not...
Yeah, it is worth pointing out that Lance Twiggs was shown all the photos that we have of the suspect, and he looked at them and said, it's not 100%. And then he went on to talk about the clothing that the person was wearing and how the clothing was similar to Tyler Robinson. So that's awkward and not convincing. And if the boyfriend or spouse of someone is looking at the same image as Andrew Wilson is looking at and saying not 100%, but based on the clothing, but Andrew Wilson is overwhelmed by it, that is a little weird. That Andrew Wilson is better at recognizing Tyler Robinson in blurry photos than Tyler Robinson's own boyfriend.
Not be permitted. This was a huge part of the preliminary hearing, that they were leading. All the questions that were asked of him were leading, so they would be struck down at the actual trial. And also, I would like to remind you that he got use immunity for that. Use immunity.
I understand.
Which means like...
That happens, by the way, all the time in these cases.
And I'm wondering why it particularly happened for Lance in this testimony. And I would also like to point out that...
He's right. Use immunity happens all the time. Use immunity meaning like, hey, we don't really care that you were smoking pot when you witnessed the crime, kid. We just want you to tell us what you saw about the crime. So we'll give you use immunity where we won't go after you for the pot, whatever drugs you were doing while you witnessed the crime. Just come in and be really honest with us, please, and tell us what you saw, and we'll forget all about the drug stuff. That's use immunity, and it's used all the time. That's totally true. Usually it is contingent upon you speaking truthfully, and if you perjure yourself, then the immunity goes away. That being said, the type of immunity that Lance Twiggs has gotten, it feels awfully suspicious because it doesn't feel like he was ever a suspect, though he should have been suspect number 2 right from the start, because it's very unlikely that Tyler Robinson could pull this off on his own if he did do it. If it was a leftist, the chances are way higher that it was Tyler Robinson with help from his buddies than doing it on his own. That's like this underlying thing that no one ever talks about, because like, A, we have leftists online posting about Charlie dying days before he was killed. That shows foreknowledge that has been brought up many times, is like, why did no one look into this? Beyond that, you would need help. This is complicated. There's a lot going on. And just having one extra body would make this thing way easier if you were trying to pull it off on your own. And there's a whole conversation to be had about why Lance Twiggs should have been a suspect and should have been very carefully examined. And we don't have a lot of evidence about how much of that examination was ever done. And that's pretty suspicious.
I think we're back. By the way, just an FYI for those of you that are watching The Crucible, there's 30,000 concurrent there watching. Support Andrew Wilson. That's your fans of his. Click that subscribe button and helps him grow his business. If you're watching Candace, I think there's 225 to 250,000 concurrent right.
You didn't have to stunt on Andrew like that, bro. Like, you didn't have to drop it
We'd
like
like to
that.
see this right now. Let's go back into the text conversation you were having, right? Okay.
The crazy thing, too, is that there's all these watch parties on different people's channels, pro Candace, anti-Candace. And when you add up all all that viewership and all these associated watch parties that were technically only like one view on the main channels, there's a lot of live viewers of this thing.
Let's stay, and then we'll go into the cross-examination stuff in about 30 minutes.
Okay, that sounds fair. Okay, so yeah, I used basically 3 pillars for the totality of the evidence. Okay, so if you want to know exactly what those 3 pillars are, this is going to be the testimony with the text messages, and the confessions. This is going to be the physical evidence, and this is going to be the totality of the summary of the case. Okay, so right now we're focusing on one of these pillars in my defense, which is fine. I understand that I have to defend my claims as well. So when we're talking about the messages themselves, they seem totally valid. I have no idea why they wouldn't be valid. And
that's a kind of a dense way to take it. I mean, you can argue for their validity, but to say you see no way they could be invalid is like, you're not very tech literate, bro.
And I have not heard any good explanation for why it is that these messages should even be questioned. The defense hasn't questioned them, as far as I'm aware. Nobody has actually questioned that these messages came from Robinson to date, except perhaps
the entire world questioned them. That was one of the first big moments
what I don't understand.
where the whole world came together.
Yeah, I don't get why he's like carrying so much water right now for that. Like, oh, no one's questioning these things. What? You got to be kidding me. Like, this is crazy talk.
And said, this is really sus. And TikTok memed it extensively. Young people all over the world were making funny videos about it. They were making reenactments. They were dressing up as Shakespeare. Be like, my lord, the vehicle doth expireth. It was an internet sensation when they released these text messages. No one was buying them. It was hilarious. Andrew Wilson obviously wasn't on planet Earth that week because everyone questioned the text messages except for Andrew Wilson, apparently.
perhaps you and other people who are kind of in that camp. But why should I question these exactly? I'm not sure.
Okay, so first let's just go over legally what the point is of a probative hearing. The defense is not they're not there to say or to argue or to defend themselves at all. They have to.
This is an incredibly important point that Candace makes pretty well on the fly there. They don't really take the time to circle around it and really flesh it out. It's so important. And I've seen a lot of people misunderstanding this and then sort of like extrapolating their logic of their perspective based on not understanding this. In the preliminary hearing, the defense, it is not normal at all. It is not the standard for the defense to present any information. The defense during preliminary hearings does not bring their case. They don't make their argument. They don't give away what they know. They don't introduce evidence or facts. There's the very rare exception where it's not that they're completely not allowed to bring any evidence or facts, but it is very much not the norm. And the reason why it's not the norm is because all that's happening in the preliminary hearing is that the prosecution is saying, Your Honor, we have enough enough evidence, whether it's true evidence or not, just enough evidence that is, reasonable to believe that it's true, that we should go to a trial to determine the guilt.
Address what is being presented by the state. Okay. So they're not here to then say, let me give you an explanation for these text messages.
Agreed.
The relevant portion of what the defense did do was actually before we got to the preliminary hearing. I had mentioned that it was initially supposed to be scheduled for some time in May. They asked for an extension. That reading through those filings of why they were requesting an extension and why I actually believe their extension should have been granted, because they did not receive discovery on their text messages. That was one of the reasons. There were many reasons why they wanted to have an extension, but this was crucial, right? So forget just the general sense that these messages.
Again, Candace describing actual firsthand knowledge of the actual events that happened over this whole year. And I doubt that Andrew Wilson knows anything about what she's talking about.
Just feel off. And yes, you are allowed to have an intuition. You are allowed to have a sense and just go, this is very weird. We're being told this kid had like above a 4.0, Tyler Robinson. He wanted to get away. I mean, the text messages almost run head to head with themselves. Like he wanted to get away with it. So he thought the best thing to do would be to text a full confession of what he did down to what I didn't even remember, saying, yeah, and that's also me in the surveillance footage. It felt a little too on the nose. People have common sense. You just don't text message. But then we're also supposed to believe that he put a note under and burn this and get rid of the evidence. But don't worry about that because I'm about to text you a full confession. That it felt off. It felt weird off the bat. The manner in which they were texting, we're told he.
Yeah, the note plus the text messages is pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, we don't leave a note underneath the keyboard telling you what I did. Burn that. Take a picture of it, then burn it. Then don't worry about it because I'm going to text a full confession to you from my phone. Now, it's just...
Because the note was, to remind us all, the note was essentially if I die or if I go down, the note was a worst case scenario just in case, assuming it's true and real and really did occur. The note represents the concept of if I go down, this will tell my boyfriend what happened. Even though if Tyler goes down, the boyfriend will find out what happened. And if Tyler doesn't go down, then he doesn't want the boyfriend to find the note. So it's all very illogical when you think about basic human motivations in terms of let's not get caught.
Intuition's the first step. Something feels off, right?
Okay.
That was my first step with COVID. I don't like the way it's being pushed. It shouldn't require a celebrity campaign, by the way. Another element of that is why people don't feel good about the Charlie thing. Why do we have so many influencers saying things? It's over. Why are you guys all using the same adjective? Can you switch it up? I'm overwhelmed. Chill. You could say, I found some parts compelling. I think this should go. I found some parts compelling. Maybe we should, see at the trial. That would be kind of.
Don't you think Fed slop's a buzzword for the counter industry?
But everyone on this.
Yeah, it is. It evolved organically, which is different. The difference between everyone online seeing something funny that is effective and being like, ha, that's funny, I'm going to say that. Paramount, not so tactical, for example. That's natural trend formation.
You said Paramount, not so tactical. Yeah, I think there's a lot of bagel posers out there. Tended to be something they actually, and it's getting kind of disgusting, in my opinion.
Amongst cultures. It's a little different when, a bunch of highly paid influencers all come out with a parroted identical message around a specific event that's clearly organized. That's not the same. That is not an authentic, organic growth of a concept within a culture.
Same day of watching this trial, which was, I would say, not overwhelming at all. Nobody came in medium, right? No one came in there were some interesting aspects. This was a little suspect, but I do think it's enough to go to trial. They all came in like they were passing away and we're going to die from being overwhelmed.
Well, they're trusting their intuition.
Okay, well, actually on that.
No, they were not trusting their intuition. They were organized, told to be there, given a script, came out, delivered the script. Very obvious. And it's the exact same bigwigs.
And if you watch my show, I keep telling you it's not vibes. So right after the shooting happened, Lance Twiggs, the FBI put him into a safe house they paid for. They went to the parents as well, to Matt Robinson and Amber, basically said, your life's at risk. There could be somebody who jumps up and wants to avenge Charlie Kirk. And, we're going to watch you. And they went into a federal safe house. What happened next is that they started thinking that the feds were maybe going to, maybe not as honest as they thought. And
how do you know any of that?
So you gotta watch the show, right?
Yeah, no, how do you know that?
I had a source within the Robinson family.
You have a source.
He wouldn't know that.
Yeah, and how do you know anything, Andrew? Oh, well, the government told me. Oh, you mean the same government on 9/12/2020? Was it this year that this happened? Was it 2026? Yeah. You're telling me? No, last year. Yeah, it was 2025. Yeah, so it's not even September yet. What am I talking about? You said that the government couldn't get their shit together and their story wasn't straight. So now all of a sudden you believe all the Fed slop?
He didn't do any prep. He doesn't have to watch or show on a regular basis. But the master debater, the blood sports debater, the #1 debater.
Yeah, which is ironic because how many times does this dude brag about the fact that he's constantly debate prepping He does days, hours, and hours of debate prepping. He wants to make sure it's very serious, that he takes it all very seriously when he's debate prepping. It's crazy, dude. This is just crazy. What are we doing here?
You should be doing some prep, bud. You're not so good at debate that you don't need to do prep. You're so good at debate because you do good prep.
An anonymous source, of course. So there's no way for us to verify that what you're saying right now is actually even true, is
Find it
it?
to be reliable hearsay.
Andrew Wilson seems to not be familiar with what journalism is and with what a journalist is, and not know how that works. So let's just remind us all that in a court of law, you're dealing with evidence and such in a legal framework. In a judicial framework,
I didn't even
you're
get to see
arguing
what was
the
said.
case based upon its legal merits in a legal fashion.
Breaks my
Candace
heart.
ain't one of those. She ain't there. That's not her job. She is a journalist, and her job is to engage with information as a journalist does, which is completely different. And the standard for evidence is completely different. The standard for proof and all that, the way you tell the story, it's all completely different, obviously. And when you are a journalist, one of the most fundamental parts of journalism is having sources. Without sources, there's basically no journalism. And the whole point of journalists is that they establish credible reputation so that when they get a source, if the source wants to remain anonymous, the journalist can replace the credibility of the source that they're not going to give away with their own credibility by saying, I'm a reputable journalist that has reported well in the past, and I vet my sources, and you know I vet my sources, so when I say I have an anonymous source that told me these things, you can trust me because of my reputation. And in the past, our system has grouped journalists up into mainstream news organizations that share credibility. And so in the past, the Washington Post had credibility. The Washington Examiner had credibility. The New York Times had credibility. And when a journalist working for them has a source, they can vet that source up to the New York Times' standards. And then they can all have a conversation with their editors and stuff and say, this story is good to go. You've done the requisite vetting. Our reputation is intact. We believe this. We are good to run it. But if they break that trust over and over and over, people start to not trust the entire New York Times. So it's critically important for the organization's reputation to remain intact for that exact reason. And that's the story of why the mainstream news is no longer trusted and no one fucking gives a shit about them anymore, because they broke that trust over and 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 over. Independent journalists use the exact same system, except the trust is entirely your own. And I have established my trust in the way that I do, and some people think that that's zero, and my audience thinks that it's high. And there's other people in between. Andrew Wilson has established his credibility and his trust over time. Candace has established hers. And it is her job to have anonymous sources. That is the whole point of journalism, and she does it exceptionally well. And having seen it from the inside and the outside, she's better at it than most people in this industry. Just going to say that. When Candace says that she has a source that told her something, I trust not only that she's being honest about what she says happened and was said and all that, but I also trust that she wasn't a fool, because she's not, and she vetted that source with the understanding that there will be fake sources sent to her to try to feed her lies. I guarantee you that her tips box is filled with that, and she is not dumb. She knows that. She's aware of that trap. And she's very careful to not fall into it, and she very carefully vets things. And when she arrives at a claim that she thinks there's something there, but she's unsure about, she tries to couch it in a way where she's not claiming it as definitive and trying to work through that. That's journalism, and that's how it works. And Andrew seems to either be trying to purposely forget that that's the truth, or is too dumb to know it. But that is a repeated theme among the Fed slop narrative over and over and over. Journalism is not the courts, not done in the same way, and journalism involves confidential sources. It's critical. It's very important, and it's very normal.
This is the prosecution filing showing defense had full discovery by April 1st. Ooh.
They did not. That's not true.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
To date, the state's prosecution.
So Andrew, knowing nothing about the case, is like, wait a second, did I just get a win? Because he doesn't actually know what evidence is on the screen. He doesn't know if he won or not. He's just been told he won. So he's like, oh, goody, something for me to read. Candace immediately is like, that's not true. I know the case, and I know the evidence, and I'm about to debunk whatever you put on the screen. So watch how Andrew Wilson acquaints himself with what is apparently proving him correct, though he doesn't know anything about it yet.
Prosecutors have disclosed all evidence that is presently and reasonably available to them as required under Rule 16 Utah R criminal, to be more precise, as of April 1st.
Yeah. That was not 100%. That's why they're caging that by saying what's reasonable. There was entire, and we can pull.
So there's one point. what's reasonable.
What's up? Like, we should now play the Kathy Nestor clip because that's from there. So, and they were basically saying you don't need it at this stage, meaning it's not reasonable that you're asking for this when we're going into.
So Andrew's team tried to fact check by bringing in a document that, if you're uninitiated into the case, looks like a good fact check because they don't know the context. Andrew Wilson gets all excited because he doesn't know the context either, reads it out as though it's a win, and then Candace explains the context to them, which is obvious and you would know if you had been following all along, and it falls right out from underneath them.
A hearing that's just going to be based on hearsay and stuff, things of that nature. But of course, by the time the trial comes, you're going to get all the
Where's
discovery
the show
documents.
cause?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So that's not.
Yeah, I understand. Except that I just thought 5 seconds ago that was a total win for me. But whatever. Now we'll ignore it and pretend it didn't happen.
So so I guess the disagreements now would move into the evidences that you have stated on the record, which transcend elements of reason.
So I just want to point out there, for example, like right there, Andrew got totally owned, and Candace didn't make a big show of it, and Andrew tried to move on from it pretty quick and pretend like he didn't, but we just saw how Andrew and his team had no idea what fact check they were presenting, and the fact check just totally bottomed out because Candace knew their fact check better than them and explained it to them so that they could realize, oh, fuck, that's not a fact check at all. And then Andrew didn't want to show the Kathy Nestor clip that disproves what the point he was just trying to make because it's not really relevant because Andrew doesn't dispute it because he didn't know fuck all about what they were trying to say. And so that entire point that he was trying to make just got completely pieced apart. And then we just move on to the next, not pretending like we didn't just know.
I wonder when these actual legitimate podcasters, these actual non-grifters, these truth seekers and these truth tellers are going to get really sick and tired of being gaslit by these, kiss the mushroom stamp of, they who shall not be named, and are, just shoveling down all the goy slop right into their mouth. Just like, oh, give me more. I'll take more of this goy slop. It's so delicious, right? At what point in time you can tell who's telling you the truth by how coordinated the attacks are? Especially someone like Crowder claiming that he was canceled. I've never seen somebody canceled as much as him and be elevated as much as him so quickly. I mean, it's like everyone else was struggling and he was just succeeding and opening up more business and hiring more staff. And the whole thing, Andrew showed his true colors. Yeah, he had his true colors he thought that he was going to be more prepared. He thought that they were going to tell him stuff in his earpiece. They probably weren't able to. I don't trust Andrew at all. I don't think he's a good faith actor.
That Andrew Wilson just totally.
If you would ask me 6 months ago, I would have said, yeah, Andrew Wilson seems to be a stand-up dude. He seems legit. He seems good faith. I don't believe that anymore.
Owned himself. Him and his team just own themselves.
You should have to answer for the claims that you've made in regards to the assassination itself.
You should have to answer for the claims that you... What? What do you mean? Like drawn and quartered? You fucking retard? Like, what do you mean you should have to answer for the claims that you made? To who? Precisely. Andrew? To whom? To who? I mean, the hubris of this dude is just staggering to me.
Candace doesn't have to answer for shit. I don't have to answer for shit that I say on my show. Does not matter. I am not legally bound, aside from like defamation law and like, I don't know, copyright law, things like that. But like in the vast center of all the rest of the, free speech that I've got, I can say anything I fucking want on here. So it's actually, no, that's a false premise, No one cares about your cross-examination.
There you go. This is all you little restarts that are listening, talking, we're going to get you a defamation. Suck it from the back.
Your interrogation, and it's not required. Candace chose to do it because she's fucking sick of this and because she correctly identified you as a soft target to get everyone to shut the fuck up and go away. And because you were stupidly offering her $300,000 that she was like, sure, retard.
At least we have him clear on camera. You're telling me this guy drove 13 hours all around. Like, we can definitely show you a picture that it's going to be beyond a reasonable doubt before we even get to the trial. People are going to see and go, oh crap, like it was really Tyler Robinson. I was expecting to at least see evidence that, because I had reported early on that the source was saying that Tyler did not step foot on campus that day. It is my perspective that he had something to do with something. I do believe he was disposing clothes at this stage. At this phase, I do believe he was disposing clothes. He was involved somehow. I find Lance to be more suspicious, if I'm being honest with you. And also, like I said, the use immunity that was given to Lance by the feds, the fact that the feds didn't ask him any questions, the fact that I spoke with Lance Twiggs' family, and they were like, it's very weird that the feds are not asking him more questions. He's exactly the person that I would imagine to be involved in some stuff. Allegedly, I'll say allegedly. But when we got to the preliminary hearing, there was not a single piece of evidence that I felt was slam dunk. I was waiting for that, a photo. I mean, anything would have made me go, all right, I think this could be the guy. If they had handed over the discovery on the text messages, since that was their big, ta-da, we've got the text messages, that would be the first thing that I would hand over. But actually, who was holding them up? Like I said, it wasn't the prosecution. They're right to say we were handing things over, and we heard the defense argue on behalf of the prosecution saying it's not them and it's not the SBI, it's the FBI that's holding.
God, Ian's got to stop mouth breathing into his microphone, bro.
On to things. The FBI took everything. The FBI took the gun. The FBI took initially the screwdriver. And then when I heard testimony about the things that they found that were suspicious.
Dude, I'm not gonna be able to listen to this if he's gonna freaking deep mouth breathe into his microphone the entire. What the hell is that?
Example being the backpack. That's something that really bothers me. That they say they traced the shooter, they traced the route that he went on, and then there was an abandoned. We know it looks like he's wearing some sort of a backpack. We know that there was an abandoned backpack found at the bus stop in front of a library, and they.
I can't do it. It's like, like picking toenails, or you know what I mean. It's just, to me, it's like having somebody listen to somebody like heavy breathing into the microphone. That's why it bothers me when the dog just sits there and looks at me and like, knock it off. Can't stand that.
Felt that this should be taken into evidence. They took it. The FBI. This was the testimony of Amanda Baker.
Nice, JP. He's popping some popcorn.
I believe her last name is, but you might want to fact check that because I think I'm blending last names. She was the forensics for the FBI, and then she says she gets a call on the 13th, and they stop testing on this backpack.
See, now I'm not going to be able to unhear it, dude. It's driving me crazy. Oh, it's driving me crazy.
Because they find that the backpack actually belongs to somebody on Charlie's team. But if you know the map of the layout of the campus, you're going, well, what the hell are they doing all the way up? This is nowhere near anywhere. And by the way, that's not an acceptable answer for why you just gave it back. That's like, why would you give it back? You're acting like no one's ever been killed by somebody on your team before.
Sorry, dude. The mouth breathing. Sorry, dude, man. The heavy breathing into the microphone. Breathing into your microphone did my head in. Love your show and your content, but it is a massive distraction, brother. Turn down your gain, perhaps, or I don't know, bro, or I don't know. I just can't do it. I'm leaving a comment on this. I can't do it, bro. I can't. I don't care how cool your content seems to be or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going. Oh, here we go. Oh, we got the. Here we go. Oh, it's a new one. To AI. This is Finkel's premiere.
The drama's getting loud. Everybody.
Oh, it's actually Finkel's voice playing like heavy metal.
Everybody's throwing shade, performing for the crowd. Then Finkel hits the live stream, puts the nonsense in its place, kicking ass and taking names with a grin across his face. Muckster talks in circles, got a rule for me and you. Then somehow, when it's Muckster, that same rule just ain't true.
By the way, this is just me reviewing. I'm not getting into the drama.
Preaching from the mountaintop, pretending he's profound, till Finkel plays the old clips back and turns that mountain upside down. Finkel! Kicking ass and taking names, walking through the wreckage of the YouTube drama games. Receipts on the table, rewind it frame by frame. You can yell, you can spin it. Finkel's bringing receipts again. Finkel's bringing receipts again. Secret Parker joins the conversation. But where'd the subject go? Started out on topic A. Now nobody seems to know a little ditzy detour. Another rabbit trail. By the time she finds the point again, the live stream setting sail. Then Camilla storms in already seeing red. Angry at the comments and the things somebody said. Volume hits 11, everybody knows the drill. Finkel sitting calmly saying, Miller, take a chill pill. Finkel! Kicking ass and taking names. Walking through the wreckage of the YouTube drama games. Receipts on the table, rewind it frame by frame. You can yell, you can spin it. Finkel's bringing receipts again.
Okay, what is this? Is it all like this? Is it all AI?
Stone vet rolls in hazy, lost somewhere inside the smoke. Starts explaining something serious, then forgets the freaking joke. Thoughts wandering off-road, functionality delayed. By the time he finds a sentence, 3 more live streams have been made. Encoded friend is waiting, hoping someone says the name. Trying hard to qualify for 15 minutes fame. But Finkel checks the drama board, there's nothing here to see. When you're not important enough to cover, that's obscurity. Everybody wants a feud, everybody wants a fight. Everybody claims they're winning every single freaking night. But screenshots have a memory and videos remain. So Finkel hits the playback and starts taking names again. And YouTube drama games, monsters, contradictions, secretness, the train, middle of blue, a gasket, stone that lost his brain. Kodak Finn keeps waiting for somebody to explain why Finkel hasn't covered them. There ain't enough to entertain. Yeah, Finkel! Roll the clips and make it plain, kicking ass, dropping receipts and taking names again.
Most extreme drama to date in 10 seconds. What in the world? Not a toupee in the Corvette.
What's that order? Over here for Spider-Man? No, I can't talk into Paw Patrol. All right, Spider-Man it is. Ooh, the Harry Potter stuff. Temptations. One night in New York.
Look at Finkel touching grass with his baby. I love it. Oh, he's playing that copyrighted music. Gotta pause it. Where his phone go flying?
They're just explaining to my sweetie the best ones to use. I tell her that they don't listen. Shades of green, dark green on the higher parts of your face, the nose, the cheekbones, the forehead, and then the lighter greens in the sockets of the eyes and the, where'd they go? No, Adrian!
I'm happy for him too. Okay, this is man. That sounds like the real thing too, man. That's pretty accurate. I might get copyright hit for this. Sounds just like Barracuda. All right, guys, time's about up on this stream. We did not make the goal, but I do appreciate the $10 super chat from JP. Looks like we're going to end it with this. I love that little. I love that little. I love that. I want to get that little sounder, like in between his closer, because he always makes those sounds where he's like, he'll like just do some grunting as he's like bringing up stuff. And he took that little sounder and turned it into like a music for like. That's brilliant. Nice job, Finkel.
Thank you for following my instructions. What? I told you to stay sexy.
Well, first off, no, women don't follow instructions very well.
And there you are. You're still sexy. I'm filming Halloween stuff. Why? Because I want to.
I'm a man. I do what I want. Good answer. I think Steve likes Halloween. Oh, that was a thing. Bro's really living, man. He's really living. I'm so proud of him. She said, "What the hell?" Yeah, what's going on there?
No Spider-Man sighting. Location unknown. Location unknown. Location unknown. Location unknown. Location unknown. Location found.
What is this?
Yes. All right. Where are you? Oh,
Dangerous curves ahead. Speaking of ear grape, oof. Oh, it's like a Circus Olay kind of thing. Take out of my pocket. Yeah, I don't think I could deal with that music very long. It's kind of a little grating. Are you enjoying this as much as I am? Just watching him, like, I'm just so happy for him right now. It's like ridiculous how happy I am for him.
Don't you dare. Hey, I'm coming for you. I know who you are. Don't you dare hang up. Come with me to the grave. I'm coming for I'm coming for you. Look behind you. I know who you are.
Men are so simple, aren't we? We just sit there for an hour doing that. I wonder how long he did. That's why I'm glad he's my friend. I get him. I get him. He gets me.
What movie you want to see?
All on your phone.
Are we in the right theater?
Seems like the
You have to write the script. Did you direct the movie? Did I direct the movie? What did I do? Just brought you here?
What did I do? I just brought you here?
I got you a Slurpee.
Oh, I got you a Slurpee. What? Hey, Stoffel. How's it going? Guy's using his baby's back like a drum. She's probably like, leave me alone. Dream on. I think Stoffel's behind a little bit. That's like a repeat, isn't it? That's doing my head in.
Yes. All right. Where are you?
That's like a straight up repeat. Oh, it's just repeating a lot of it. Okay. That's my favorite part. I gotta get that. That actually sounds like Finkel.
They pulled up a chair, they were ready to go. Popcorn in hand for the late night show. Refreshing the screen, saying
It's kind of crazy how, like, even the way it's singing, his voice, it almost has his, it like mimicked his meter too, almost like that. I imagine he would sing kind of the way he talks, almost like that. That's kind of weird.
and where's the fight? Waiting for somebody to lose
I mean, you can tell it's not him, but yeah.
it tonight. But the insults didn't fly, no bridges got burned, and somewhere along the way a lesson got learned. The audience groaned, this is terribly tame. Sorry folks, there's more to life than drama and blame. Oh, the
Amen.
drama never came tonight. Nobody screamed, nobody picked a fight. No 10-part feud, no rage-filled call. Just turned off the screen and walked out the hall. Touch some grass, feel the sun on your face. Meet somebody real in an actual place. The comments will survive, the internet can wait. There's a whole damn world outside that gate. No screenshots flying, no rumors to chase, no 3-hour live stream dissecting a face, no breaking news about who blocked who, or 45 minutes on something from 2. Instead, there's a neighbor you've never quite met, an old friend wondering where you've been at. There's coffee and laughter and stories to trade, and none of it needs a thumbnail made. Yeah, the drama never came tonight. Nobody screamed, nobody picked a fight. No 10-part feud, no rage-filled
I like this.
call. Just turned off the screen and walked out the hall. Touched some grass.
I'm gonna hopefully Steve will send me this. It'll be like the perfect extra to the show. When we just have peace, we have fun, we do a little reviewing, and we hide the idiots. That would be amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it's his voice for sure.
Feel the sun on your face, meet somebody real in an actual place. The comments will survive, the internet can wait. There's a whole damn world outside that gate. Funny how strangers behind the screen can start feeling bigger than everything. But likes aren't handshakes, views aren't friends, and internet battles never really end. So close that tab and open the door. Remember what being alive is for.
Amen.
Sorry, the drama ain't coming tonight. found something better than proving who's right. No villains, no heroes, no
This hits.
digital war. We're too busy living to keeping score. Touch some grass, shake somebody's hand, have a real conversation they didn't plan. Let the disappointed audience complain.
Tomorrow they'll still have the internet again. The live stream's empty, the chat's moving slow. Everybody's asking, where did they go? Outside somewhere, beneath an open sky, living real life and letting the drama pass by.
Dude, that little thing makes me want to play Red Dead so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna just the way that sounds. It just totally reminds me of Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, I love that game. Fantastic game. What are we gonna go with here? We're gonna get a schmog. What's that? I do have Cyberpunk, but my understanding is it's not really safe for work. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I played a little bit of it. I played the very beginning of it. I should probably give it another shot. Who is Pete? Stoffel is. I have a top tier gaming graphics card arriving Friday. I'm gonna start Cyberpunk 27. Yeah, I downloaded that. I haven't really, like I said, they were saying that it might not be, what's the word? YouTube friendly? Well, I guess. I don't know. It's like my new favorite thing. Rebuilt my system with a new motherboard. Nice. Sounds good, man. All right, well, that was it. All right, guys, you all take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. Big shout out to Steve. Awesome video, by the way. We loved it. I loved it. Who wouldn't love that? That was amazing. That was a good time, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Maybe the next time I play, it'll be Red Dead Redemption. My wife just gave a big thumbs